will come to us in just a moment. Newcastle United 3, Bournemouth 3. Sunderland 1 on penalties, 3-0. Robin Roos saved all 3 earlier on today. Leicester and Wolves were winners in the early kickoff. So too were Macclesfield of National League North, who beat Crystal Palace, the FA Cup holders. There were some big scores in the 3 o'clock games. Burton Albion won 5-0 at Boreham Wood. Burnley beat Millwall 5-1. Southampton held on to win 3-2 at Doncaster. They'd been 3-0 up at half-time. Fulham, who were 1-0 down at half-time at home to Middlesbrough, came back and won that 3-1. Ipswich held on to beat Blackpool 2-1. Blackpool scored a penalty in the 96th minute to make it a bit nervy. Manchester City were never nervy at any point and beat Exeter by 10 goals to 1. Brentford won 2-0 at Sheffield Wednesday. Stoke scored in the 88th minute to beat Coventry 1-0. The 4 games that kick off in the early evening will kick off in about 5 minutes time. 5:45 kickoffs. Bristol City against Watford, Birmingham at Cambridge, Weston-super-Mare at Grimsby, Spurs against Aston Villa, the only other all Premier League tie in the third round, apart from the 2 that we've brought you commentary of today. Charlton-Chelsea is at 8 o'clock. You can probably hear the noise behind me because the teams are not far away now from beginning this penalty shootout for a place in the 4th round of the FA Cup. Let's rejoin Matthew Raisbeck and John Anderson.
Total Sport North East.
The FA Cup.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Thanks very much indeed, Colin. Well, here we go again. They've had a lot of penalty shootouts in recent seasons. Newcastle, there was one at Nottingham Forest last year at the start of their successful League Cup campaign. FA Cup shootout at Blackburn that they won 2 seasons ago. The one that they didn't win was most recently was at Chelsea, when the Bournemouth goalkeeper Georgi Petrovic was in goal for Chelsea, and he saved from Kieran Trippier and Matt Ritchie on that occasion. The 2 sets of coaching staff line up along the touchline, and the penalties are going to be taken at the Leazes end of St James's. Last penalty shootout that was here for United was won against Crystal Palace in the League Cup on their way to their first of their 2 recent finals. Nick Pope was in goal that day. Today it's Aaron Ramsdale against one of his old clubs. He was furious with the goal that they conceded to make it 3-3, and everyone was disappointed, but he was
it was a poor goal
away, and he was angry.
You score with 2 minutes to go. You've got to see the game out. You've got to defend better than that.
Anthony Gordon with the first penalty. He was there to keep Newcastle in the cup in the 95th minute, Gordon, and scored at the Gallagher end. He takes the first in the shootout up against Petrovic, away to our left. Here comes Gordon, and he scores. Sends the keeper the wrong way, and he fired it in low to the left. 1-0 to Newcastle. Tavernier first for Bournemouth in the shootout.
Great penalty, wasn't it? Goalkeeper goes the opposite way to the ball.
Petrovic taps hands with Tavernier. Ramsdale gets on his line, clapping his hands together, now swinging his arms away. St James's Park trying to put Marcus Tavernier off, the man who took it to penalties with that very, very late goal. And he scores again, just squeezes it into the corner. A lot of power.
Good
Ramsdale
penalty.
got across, but it's it.
Yeah, good penalty. Just whips it across the goalkeeper. He's not stopping that. Too much power in it.
Next Newcastle penalty will be taken by Nick Voltemada, who scored from 12 yards in the Premier League against Nottingham Forest in October with a great penalty with an unusual technique, but he stuck that one into the top corner. And here in the FA Cup shootout, Voltemada, hands on hips, is ready. up against Petrovic. It's a slow run up from Voltemada, and it's off the bar. Voltemada has hit the bar.
Same sort of thing when he scored the penalty. Languid, dinks it, hits the crossbar.
Evan Nielsen to put Bournemouth in front. This is their second penalty. Aaron Ramsdale saved a penalty on his first Newcastle appearance in pre-season. And they will need him here today in the shootout. Evan Nielsen stopped by Ramsdale, diving across to his left. And it's 1-1 after 2 penalties each, and here comes Bruno.
It's a good stop. Gets us right, gets a strong hand on it.
Bruno Guimaraes at the same end of St James's Park as his penalty against Leeds. The crucial third equaliser before the late winner. BBC Radio Newcastle and BBC Sounds. There's some issue with the penalty spot. Now the ball is down and Bruno goes back to the edge of the area and can put Newcastle back in front. Here comes Bruno, another stuttering run up, and it's saved.
It's an awful penalty.
Bruno saved by Petrovic. It wasn't in the corner, was it?
Straight down the middle.
It's a sort of penalty that's fine if the keeper goes the other way, but he didn't. Bournemouth's next penalty will come from the experienced midfielder Lewis Cook. Ramsdale with 1 save already. If Bournemouth score this, they will go ahead after 3 each. Cook! Oh, Ramsdale got something on it, but it's into the corner.
It wasn't great either, was it? Just bounces over his hand.
Here's Tonali.
Penalties haven't been great, have they?
Sandro Tonali gets the ball from Aaron Ramsdale. I didn't see that Cook penalty back, but he may feel like he should have saved it because he got there. He's already saved 1, Ramsdale, as has Petrovic. But Bournemouth lead 2-1 after 3 each. This is Newcastle's 4th. They really need Tonali to score. They could be in bother, and they could be heading out. Sandro Tonali from the penalty spot scores into the corner.
Proper penalty. Whip it. Don't dink it. Get your foot through it.
This is Alex Jimenez, the right back who came on.
Had a great chance, didn't he? And added on time, extra time.
His goalkeeper Petrovic hands him the ball. Ramsdale is ready. Newcastle 2, Bournemouth 2, but if this goes in, the away side will be back in front. And then Newcastle will need to score their next one or they will be out. Alex Jimenez. Here he comes. Saved by Ramsdale again. 2 penalty saves in the shootout by Newcastle's Aaron Ramsdale. He probably should have saved 3, but he is keeping his team in this. It's 2 apiece.
Never looked like
4
scoring.
penalties each. And
Never
Joe
looked like
Linton
scoring.
grabs the ball for Newcastle's 5th.
He never looked like scoring.
Well, you were mouthing that while he was putting the ball down, but I didn't want curse of the commentator stuff to happen, so I didn't say it. But you were right, Ando. You called it. You got a nose for that sort of thing. Joelinton for Newcastle now to gain the advantage in the shootout. Their 5th penalty. Joelinton against Petrovic. That's into the back of the net. And Bournemouth have to score their next one through Marcos Senesi, the centre-back. Or they will be out and Newcastle will go through. Joelinton having a bit of a word with Senesi. It's Brazil and Argentina. Again, Aaron Ramsdale with 2 saves. Could he make a third? Be a hat-trick hero of sorts in the FA Cup shootout. If this doesn't go in, Newcastle are through. Senesi, left-footed, scores into the bottom corner, sends Ramsdale the wrong way. It's
quality, wasn't it?
a good penalty.
Yeah, quality.
Lewis Hall, now we are into sudden death. It's 3-3 after 5 penalties each. Lewis Hall now. Just need a bit of quality and technique from Hall, which we know he possesses. There's real pressure on these penalties now because a slip-up can be fatal. Hall has scored. Keeper got a hand on it, but it was heading towards the top corner.
That's what you've got to do. Just get your foot through it, hit it hard.
Lewis Hall, 4-3 to Newcastle on penalties. Bournemouth centre-back James Hill is next. BBC Radio Newcastle and BBC Sounds. FA Cup tie that's gone all the way into sudden death. Hill places the ball down on the spot. The referee tells him to move it. It's not on the spot. That's the trouble Bruno had, and his was saved. Can Ramsdale do it again? Hill comes towards the ball. Ramsdale got a hand on it, but it's in. And Lewis Miley will take the next penalty. Should he have saved that, Ando, or did he dive past the ball?
He guessed right. Just a little bit too much power on it.
Young Lewis Miley. Newcastle going first in the penalty shootout, which is 4-4. Here's Miley. That's a penalty that you always believed was going to be converted, and Miley sends Petrovic the wrong way, putting it to the goalkeeper's left. Newcastle lead again. Adrien Truffert. The Bournemouth left back, long sleeves and gloves, puts it down, steps back. Here's Truffert.
Oh,
it's into
what
the
a
corner.
penalty
Ramsdale
that is. Dear oh dear.
Ramsdale couldn't get there.
It was by him before he even moved.
And now it's Harvey Barnes. This is Newcastle's 8th penalty. It's 5-5. Barnes thought he'd won it. 118th minute header. Bournemouth equalised, took it to penalties. Barnes in the shootout has scored. He had one saved in the FA Cup at Blackburn a couple of seasons ago, but no mistake there to the goalkeeper's right, and Petrovic going the other way.
It's a long walk from that centre spot to the penalty spot.
Have you ever done that? Did you ever take a pen in a shootout? Can you remember?
Not here.
Adam Smith, the long-serving Bournemouth player, the captain, a player signed by Eddie Howe 12 years ago. the next penalty. Right-footed, up against Ramsdale. It's in just...
Oh, you were just going to say it's safe.
So is everybody else. I thought he'd got there. It's right in the corner. Do you get it any closer to the corner than that? Ramsdale leapt across, but couldn't keep it out. And Malik Chow will take Newcastle's next penalty. What happened there with the keeper? I thought he got a hand on it again. When he hasn't saved it, he's got close, Ramsdale. Smith just into the corner. Chow. Malik Chow. Here's his penalty. That's very coolly finished by Chow. A stuttering run up. Petrovic dived out of the way of it. Bafodi Diakite, Newcastle centre half scoring now, a Bournemouth centre half stepping up. Newcastle have scored their last 6 penalties, 7 in total. 7-6 they lead. If Diakite doesn't score, United go through to the 4th round. Sudden death continues. Diakite saved! Aaron Ramsdale is the hero. He has saved 3 penalties in the shootout. And Newcastle United have gone through. St James's Park has certainly seen its fair share of drama this week. The incredible win over Leeds, and now this mad FA Cup tie that they saved and rescued in injury time at the end of the 90, that they look to have won with a goal in 118 minutes at the end of extra time, only to concede again in added on time at the end of extra time. And now they've won the penalty shootout with Ramsdale saving from Evan Nielsen, Alex Jimenez and Bafodi Diakite, and Newcastle have gone through 7-6 on penalties, John Anderson. What a few days it's been here.
It's been unbelievable, hasn't it? It's crazy. Look, it was a crazy cup tie, there's no doubt about it. It looked like we'd had it won going into the last minute. To give the goal away that we gave away was really poor. But in the next round, that's for sure. Diakite walking forward for that never looked like he fancied it at all. But look, it's all about getting through the next round, and that's exactly what they've done.
This match kicked off at 3 o'clock. It's 2 minutes to 6 now. I think you'll be on overtime, won't you, Ando? It's been a
wish.
long afternoon, a very long afternoon. All the goals in normal time came in the second half, then 1 each in extra time. And they thought they'd won it, and then to have the blow of conceding so late, but then they've had to come again, and they've gone through. So they deserve credit for that, and you have to tip your hat to Aaron Ramsdale for 3 saves. He should have saved a few more, because the ones he didn't get, most of them, he got very close to.
He did get close to it, yeah. He got hands on a couple of them. But yeah, he's the hero, isn't he? He saved the last penalty, got us through. Look, I'm sure extra time was the last thing that Eddie Howe would have wanted, with Manchester City coming here on Tuesday night and them having strolled through this afternoon, not to be extended, no extension for them whatsoever. So going to be a lot of tired legs. They're going to have to get ready to go again on Tuesday night. You know, you would think it'll probably be the same back 4. Well, no, Hall will probably play. Trippier will probably have to play right back, because we don't know the extent of the injury to Livramento. But look, we're in the next round of the Cup, and that's all that matters.
On the Livramento injury, we're not sure what the problem was. He went off in the second half. He was out with the other players for the penalty shootout. He's put sliders on. So, I mean, if there's any real concern immediately, then he would probably have better footwear on to walk around the pitch and do a lap of honour with his.
Yeah, but he had them on the last time when he was out for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So we'll wait and see. When he goes down, it's always a concern because of the injuries that he's had in the past. But fingers crossed, it's nothing too serious, and hopefully he'll be available for Tuesday night.
It's, I suppose, an achievement the way that they've done it. You would like things to be a bit more comfortable, wouldn't you? In the way that you would
like not to give goals away.
Yeah, it's not good for the stress levels, but it's not good for supporters to watch. And again, there were 7 changes today, so it's not the first choice players that started the game. Some of them came on, but I think there will be some criticism of the performance again, Ando.
Defensively, yes, we look shaky defensively. We're a little bit ropey when teams break on us. We get isolated a little bit. Happened against Leeds the other night, happened again today. That's 6 goals conceded in 2 home games. That will be a concern.
FA Cup 4th round draw is on Monday. It's going to be made before the 7:45 kick-off. Liverpool and Barnsley. The ties are on across the weekend of Valentine's Day. So next month they missed a chance to have a free weekend, but they remain in the FA Cup, which is what they wanted. Who do you fancy? What about a derby?
Anybody at home.
They've both gone
as long as we don't have to travel.
Yeah. They've both gone through on penalties today. Sunderland winning at Everton 3-0 in the shootout. Their goalkeeper saved 3 as well, didn't he, Robin Roofs? And Aaron Ramsdale has emulated him for Newcastle United. Sunderland 1-1 with Everton, through 3-0 on penalties. Newcastle 3-3 with Bournemouth after extra time. And then 7-6 on penalties. And another epic at St James's Park. If you search for Newcastle United or for Sunderland AFC on BBC Sounds, you'll find reaction to both games. And follow us on X if you're on there, at BBC Newcastle, for more dressing room reaction from both clubs. Total Sport returns on Monday at 6 on BBC Radio Newcastle and BBC Sounds, with more fallout and discussion from the weekend's FA Cup entertainment. Thanks very much.
Cheers, Razor. Enjoyed that.
We can go and catch our breath. I suppose you do enjoy it when they win, even if you don't enjoy it during. You can reflect on a positive outcome for Newcastle United.
This is 5 Sports Extra.
That's where we'll leave Radio Newcastle on BBC Sports Extra 2. Now we're going to join Radio Cambridgeshire for commentary of Cambridge United versus Birmingham City.
Quick ball over the top. I know you're right. Hoping it gets lost in the fog or something.
Yeah. Attacked by the Headless Horseman or something like that. Clara playing it out, and it goes all the way back to the keeper from Patrick Roberts.
Yeah, he's a current Sunderland player, but on loan from the Black Cats at the moment.
There's Birmingham inside their own half, looking to build from the back. And raking pass, looking for Iwata, who will keep it in. Really? No, not quite. Only to the effect of preventing the goal kick, but putting it out for a throw to the U's deep in their own half. 19 minutes gone, 0-0.
He did well there, actually, to get a foot on the ball, Iwata.
Feels like there's a blue touch paper here that hasn't quite been lit.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. Both sets of fans a little bit hushed at the moment. It just needs something to ignite the game. Hopefully, from a black and amber perspective, United, well, they've started relatively well, from a defensive and attacking perspective.
Gibbons with a clearance for the U's. Ruddock can't get there. It's brought down by Iwata, looking to work it through the middle. They can't do so. Doyle will stretch the play once more by Robinson, and quick as he says his name, he's given the ball away, but he will win it back once more.
I was going to say, as does Louis Appere, a little bit cheap in terms of his giveaway on that occasion.
There's a bit of a scramble on the halfway line. Referee's got to sort out, and he sorts it out with a free kick to Birmingham. That could have gone either way.
Indicating handball, I think.
I think he is, yeah.
Don Ball fell on the ball, perhaps.
Birmingham back in possession inside their own half. 20 minutes gone, goalless. No real chances for either side just yet. It's Birmingham in possession. inside their own half, going back towards the back line. They'll play out, but they've been forced out. United with this high press at the moment, just giving Birmingham a problem or two.
Yeah, it's being well supported actually, Louis Apre, by Paddy Ruddock's a fair way forward at the moment as well, isn't he? George Hoddle, one of the players, just behind Louis Apre as well, so he's keen to support. This is a great pathway in terms of his development as well, isn't it, George Hoddle?
With Don Ball in the side, you've got that availability, haven't you, for players to take their turn to press. As United will have to defend now. Bulford cut out well by Rossi. Works on Apparay, just couldn't quite bring it under his spell. He was surrounded by a quartet of blue-shirted defenders. And Birmingham back in possession, going wide towards Iwata on this right-hand side. New turn. In fact, it's picked up by Roberts. Roberts looking for the ball through the middle, but the run once more of Furuhashi was well spotted by Mamadou Jobe. Keeper comes out to claim. It's Michael Morrison, former Birmingham man, has a little warm-up for the U's on this near touchline, and we'll get a good reception from those who've spotted him. There's a few have.
Yeah, they have. Away to the left, you can see one or two with applause. He played a good number of games there, and he'll be pleased just to be back out here and involved after 4 or 5, perhaps 6 weeks out with that hamstring injury.
November 29th was when he was injured, and time happens like that over Christmas. I couldn't tell you how long ago that was now. As Birmingham look to hold the play up and halfway. Ruddock has other ideas. Hoddle as well. And, clearing it away just for a moment. But a lovely pass with the outside of the boot from Tommy Doyle. Picks up the run of Kai Wagner on the left-hand side. Just has to hold it. Find Pike looking to lay it off. Pak Sung Ho. It's a return pass. It'll be clipped forward, but United with numbers back. Bennett has done the job and cleared his lines. Birmingham will win the ball back though on the halfway line. Birmingham starting to see much more of the ball after early stages when United were in control, Douglas.
Yes, they were. They made a good start to the game, United. Yeah, they're controlling things in the middle of the park, but no real ejection at the top end of the pitch from them at the moment, which United will be satisfied with, I think.
It is coming up to the midway point in the first half on BBC Radio Cambridgeshire. Cambridge United 0, Birmingham City 0 in this FA Cup third round tie. Full controlled.
Yeah, placed in the fourth round at stake, of course, and a nice little pile of cash.
121,000, I think.
It is, yeah.
The winners.
It's another new striker, isn't it?
Yeah. Another. United just be hoping for A for the time being.
Surely the aim has got to be 2.
Yeah.
Forget 1, then great.
Of course it has. It's Birmingham in possession once more. Playing it infield. Pak Sung Ho will look to roll it forward towards Furuhashi's offside. Flag will go up. United will get the free kick.
He was so far offside, I think he was trying to break into your car behind that stand, Jono.
He'd struggle. I haven't parked there this week.
Oh, right, OK.
Clearly, it being an FA Cup third round match, there's a function on in the supporters club tonight. So the front car park's not in use.
Ah.
Well, not for Cambridge United anyway.
Well, there you go, you're safe, Jono.
I'll leave it there.
You're safe. But he was a good country mile offside, wasn't he?
Oh,
Furuhashi.
Yeah, he was nearly in the river in Fendetton, wasn't he? As the long clearance from Eastwood will find touch, level the edge of the area. And Birmingham will start again from about 20 yards further forward than where the ball went out, but there we are.
Pretty even contest so far, you have to say. Neil Harris will be satisfied with the way his side has started, but perhaps wants a touch more attacking punch.
Furuhashi with that clever flick that James Brophy read like a book. And got back to Gibbons. We'll clip it down the right hand side where it's picked off by Christophe Clara. Go wide towards Iwata for Birmingham. Wider still is Roberts looking for the return pass. Instead it goes back infield. Roberts will pick it up now. We'll drift back and we'll look for the angle pass which Ruddock was having none of. Cuts that out. Clara gets the ball back with a quick 1-2 and lays it off, and Roberts will try again, then decides not to. Birmingham in the centre circle at the moment. 24 minutes in, goalless. Goes wide to Wagner again on the left hand side, looking for a 1-2 off there, off Pate. Can't get it. Will come back instead to Robinson. Robinson quickly lays it back infield. Christophe Clara for Birmingham. Coming forward, ghosting forward. Apre trying to drag him back and failing. Clara continuing his run. Goes wide to Iwata on the right hand side, just outside the area. Lays it off again. Birmingham back in keeping possession with Tommy Doyle. Being forced to be patient. United with a good press.
They're very disciplined, aren't they, in terms of how they're keeping their shape at the moment, the U's.
It's ball back round the corner, looking for Pak Sang-ho, who got it the second attempt actually, and it's laid off for Dutch. Dutch with a pass that was ricocheted back, and United will win it back once more inside their own penalty area. Gibbons tries to play out from the back. Brophy on the corner of his box plays it back towards Eastwood, who caught there just before Furuhashi and clears towards the halfway line. Hoddle with a lovely touch to escape trouble and go wide towards Bennett on the right hand side. He crosses halfway, defender coming back to him. Gets the ball back towards George Hoddle.
He's settled into this game nicely, hasn't he, George Hoddle? Not overawed in the slightest.
Bennett with the ball back in field, brought down well by Ball, who charged forward, 15 outside the area, lays it off to Knight. Knight, 25 yards out, little mazy run, back to Don Ball. He'll find Hoddle. Hoddle will go wide towards the right-hand side where Bennett will look to maraud forward and take on the defender, who stands strong, gets nudged over and wins a free kick. Promising, but for a minute there, United are playing in the centre of the park, and you could hear now Harris imploring them to go wide.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Liam Bennett was out there. Wagner did a good job actually, just tracking him. That's been a good foot race at times. The new Birmingham man and Liam Bennett. But when Ben Knight got the ball centre, he was looking to get the shot away, wasn't he? But he was very quickly closed down, so had to go wide.
Yeah, as yet Bennett's been unable to run rings around Wagner, hasn't he?
No comment.
As United in possession with Apare. Apare sets off towards this left-hand side, gets the ball back towards Brophy. Brophy will scamper forward, just outside the area. Back in field it goes to Gibbons. Gibbons runs across and looks to put Bennett in on the right-hand side. Passes just a fraction over hit, and Bennett won't catch up with it. Clever idea, just a fraction over hit. It never quite sat up for the shot that James Gibbons might have fancied. And the ball out towards Bennett was the right idea, but just a little overhit.
Yeah, it was a little bit. He had it in two minds, didn't he, whether to try and pop the shot away, but it didn't quite sit right for him. But United, when they do go forward, they do look a little bit menacing, don't they? And they're moving it quickly, as we said earlier, so they can stretch that Birmingham back line.
There's a ball wide towards the right-hand side. Iwata with the ball in towards the edge of the area. Cross comes Job to clear, and he clatters it against Gibbons, who makes sure it goes upfield before going out for the throw.
As I say, they're having to move the ball quickly defensively as well. They don't want to get caught out early in this game.
Lovely little flick by Marvin Dux to try and put Furuhashi in, but United read it well and clear upfield. 0-0, 28 minutes gone.
I was going to say early on in this game, but we are 28 minutes in. It's flown by, despite the fact there's been a little lack of event in front of goal so far.
Well, if it goes to extra time and penalties, which it might, then it will be early on in the game, but I know exactly what you mean. 28 minutes in.
United are certainly not overawed here.
No.
Considering two divisions between the two sides.
Gibbons on the burst down the left-hand side, flicks it down the line towards Apare. Apare lays it off to Brophy just outside the area. Looks for the supporting run, he's underhit it. He was looking for Gibbons, he underhit it and allowed Christoph Clara to ghost across and put into touch for the throw to United. Level with the edge of the area, which James Gibbons will wind something up.
He had a little bit more time there actually, Clara, but you're right, the pass from James Brophy into intended for the path of James Gibbons was very wayward indeed.
It will be Gibbons to take, level the edge of the area at right hand side, a little further forward than that perhaps. It's just hidden from me by the crowd. Oh, there he is. Long throw into the box, looking for the flick on. Comes off a Birmingham head. Hoddle tries to get there. Laid back into the danger area by Ball, but couldn't do anything with it. It comes back towards Bennett, long way out. He'll chip it back in. Looking for Job. Couldn't quite get there. Might run to Gibbons. Gibbons stands it up towards the back post. Knight's pushed over in the area. Referee says play on. Comes back in once more. Recycle once more into the box. Might fall loose for Knight, who blazes over. He claims it took a deflection. Referee says otherwise. First real chance of the match falling to Ben Knight on the half hour. United recycled the ball about 3 times. Had about 4 pushes which they thought might have been given as penalties. None of them were. And in the end it fell for Knight, and he just got underneath it.
And again, they just look a little bit susceptible at the back, Birmingham, when United put bodies forward and put the ball into the box very, very quickly.
As Birmingham playing out from the back, and they're making that look very difficult. United with a press, but Birmingham do get away with it.
The fourth poorest defence in the Championship.
Yeah.
Away from home, Birmingham, so they are, as we said, susceptible at times.
Birmingham on this near side. Pak Sung-ho has just been pushed away, rather, by James Gibbons. Clara on the halfway line picks it up for Birmingham. Half an hour gone, goalless at the Abbey Stadium. Iwata will carve back in field, looking to lay it off. Long ball into the box. United got a minute back, but they still haven't cleared. Furuhashi with a shot, that's charged down, and it's fired in at the far post. United just couldn't clear their lines. It fell towards that left-hand side. Might be Kumas who got his shot away after Furuhashi was denied, and Birmingham ahead on the half hour. United just could not get the ball away.
No, they couldn't. 2 or 3 times they cleared their lines, but not well enough. And as we said a little earlier, when they do go forward, they do get men at the top end of the pitch. They overload it, and we've seen at times it leaves gaps for United to exploit when they want to go forward, but it was just too much on that occasion, wasn't it? I couldn't quite see who got the final shot away. It may have been Wagner, I don't know, but took a deflection on the way, wrong-footed Jake Eastwood a little bit, didn't it?
Yeah, rebound fell over onto that left-hand side, and shot when it came in, you're right, did take a deflection. United denied.
But that's a real shame for United. It was all down, you're right, Jono, to just not being able to clear lines, and you have to do that against a side from a division or so higher. They won't give you so many chances.
No, exactly right. That's been the issue. United do fall behind.
Here's Wagner that's been credited with the goal, I think, as we suspected.
Well, as you suspected.
But say, big deflection on the way through. And it just sat Jake Eastwood on his backside, and there wasn't a lot he could do about it. Rather unfortunate in that respect.
So Birmingham lead. United with work to do at the Abbey Stadium. So Birmingham in possession again with Kai Wagner, goal scorer. Looking to get it back in field. Hughes will win it back though. Apre on halfway turns, and he'll lay it off towards the left-hand side. Gibbons goes back to Zeno Ibsen-Rossi. Disappointing goal for United to concede so quickly or so soon after having a really good chance of their own. Yeah,
it was Ben Knight, wasn't it? Hadn't had a chance to talk about it, but he hit it with some menace, but always rising. Unfortunately, just couldn't quite get the angle on it that he wanted. He had to get his snapshot away though, didn't he?
Hughes building quietly down the left-hand side with Gibbons finding Brophy, cuts in field from that left flank. He'll continue his run, and he'll invite Mamadou Jobe to scamper forward down the right-hand side. He's got Bennett on the overlap should he wish to use him, and he does. Finds Bennett with a cross which is blocked away for a corner to the Hughes.
There's Wagner and Bennett again going toe-to-toe down that right-hand side. He did well actually to wrap his right foot around that, Liam Bennett. United's first corner of the evening?
I think so, and I think James Brophy will take it, left-footed. Out swinging from that left-footed in swinging rather from that right-hand side. Missed, not too bad at the moment. Birmingham pulled the lot back, and United will whip it in towards that near post. Half cleared at the near post. It'll come back towards Brophy. He'll deliver it once more. Whipped in again, beaten away at the near post, and Furuhashi will try and chase it out. United get there first. And Bennett will take the right option, the safe option, to go back to Jake Eastwood, clad in fire engine red, so he'll launch it away. Apre pushed it out of the way. United get the free kick.
Yeah, that's happened a number of times actually, and Clara has been getting away with it, not on this occasion, but credit to Ben Knight actually, that loose ball that was cleared out the box. Furuhashi was looking to latch onto it, and Ben Knight really did show some pace to get in front of him.
Used for the free kick from midway between the halfway line and the edge of the area, really. Left to centre. Brophy will take it. Most of the players towards the far post. Gibbons in a bit of space on the left-hand side, actually. Brophy wants to use him, he doesn't. He'll go towards that far post where Job has tiptoed forward, knocks it down into the area. Clara gets it half away. Hoddle back into the danger area, headed on that far side by Job, who throws himself at the attempted clearance, doesn't get there. Bennett from halfway nods it back into Birmingham territory, and in the end Clara can volley it away. And a lovely pass as well, brought down on that left-hand side, and Birmingham could break once more. It's Wagner again will look to deliver it in from that far side. Hughes with numbers back, and Hoddle hooks it away. Doesn't find touch. Birmingham still in possession, midway inside the Hughes half.
Yeah, good collective defending, wasn't it? George Hoddle coming back just to help out Liam Bennett.
Half of few chances so far. United couldn't take theirs. Birmingham took theirs.
I say it's ironic. There was just within a minute that glorious chance for Ben Knight.
Ball back towards Robinson, wide towards Wagner on the left-hand side. Rolls it back in field. Doyle will play it in field. Hughes get a foot on it and awkwardly scuffed away. But he'll be picked up by Christophe Clara. Goes towards that far post, nodded half away towards that far side. Kumas will try and get the shot away, curls it into the area, nodded once more away by the United defence. Apare on the edge of his area, gets it half away, but it runs loose. Iwata with the ball down the line, looking to deliver the ball into the area from Roberts. Hughes will clear just, but they haven't got it out of the box yet. Hoddle will. His pass is picked off. Clara will keep United pinned in down the right hand side, just outside the area. Looks a return pass. Iwata looking to go wide. Hughes with numbers back. They can't get hold of the ball at the moment. Goes wide once more towards Roberts. Roberts down the line into the area. It goes across the face of goal. Hughes will smuggle it away, and away it goes for the goal kick. Well, Birmingham were trying to shepherd it out for a corner. United were confident. The linesman hadn't got the foggiest, and the referee in the end gave the goal kick.
It's almost a chance to breathe for United. There were, I don't know how many passes played around by Birmingham, but United just couldn't get the ball on the boot of someone in black and amber and clear the ball away. So yeah, a bit of relief just for a second or two, because they've got that little bit of momentum after scoring, haven't they, Birmingham?
Yeah, and United just having to dig in to stay in the game at one down.
The goal almost came, not so much out of nowhere, but it was a surprise because there's been very little in front of goal from either side.
Yeah. Ball nodded away by Christophe Clara, but it'll be nodded back by United. Ruddock lays it off just outside the area. Apare runs into a crowd scene, comes away without the ball, but then wins it back just on the edge of the area. Clara goes back towards that left-hand side where Wagner will clear. Hughes will head it back once more. Wagner has been beaten to it and fouled.
I think he just dived in for a second, didn't he? Ben Knight looking to get a toe on the ball.
Yeah, Wagner stayed down, and probably rightly so, actually, as Knight went to try and get in there, but brings the Birmingham man down. It is still Hughes 0, Birmingham 1, 38 minutes gone.
Yeah, Wagner, as we said a little earlier, signed last week, so just his second appearance for Birmingham. He's already got his first goal, and in the FA Cup as well. Nice moment for him, but just a shame United couldn't clear their lines prior to him getting his foot to the ball for that one.
When he was growing up, first making his way in Wurz in Germany, I bet his dream was to score his first FA Cup goal at the Abbey Stadium.
And his first goal in English football at the Abbey.
Yeah.
Dream for anyone, wasn't it?
I would think so. It was mine. Yet to be fulfilled. I think it's a long shot now.
Still charity games, John.
It'd have to be real charity as United clear their lines. Ball over the top. There's a chase which Clara will win for Birmingham. 39 minutes in, and he'll play it back to his keeper. Hughes 0, Birmingham 1.
And that miss seems to have just lifted a little over the course of the last 10 or 15 minutes. But United still very much in this. Obviously, they need something from somewhere before half-time would be great, but they're still finally balanced, really, the game.
United make the interception on halfway with Bennett looking for the ball over the top down that right hand side. Robinson's there quickly, but Ruddock got in behind him and looked to turn and delivers the ball across the face of goal, and then a really clever piece of defending by Iwata to chest it down. It was almost on his own goal line as he chested it down into the hands of his keeper with pressure as well. Cool defending by the Japan international.
Yeah, to get it right, because James Brophy was there ready to pounce, wasn't he?
As Gibbons wins the ball from Roberts on halfway, looking to get it forward. Iwata's there again. Birmingham will bring the ball away with Dutch, but ball was in the way of that as well, and Birmingham just struggling to get out just for a moment or two.
Yeah, United still just employing that press, so trying not to give Birmingham too much time on the ball when they've got it in that kind of area of the pitch.
Pak Sang-ho looks for a return pass and lays it off calmly towards this right hand side. Clara for Birmingham will drive forward, gets the return pass. Doyle didn't want it, I don't think, and tells Clara to do something different, so he plays it long. Furuhashi turns well, looks to get it wide in towards that far side where the shot comes in from Kumas into the hands of the keeper, and he really should have done better there.
He should. He was put in. No idea. It was almost like he dinked it back to Jake East, but thankfully for United, son of Jason, former Tranmere man.
Hughes in possession via Brophy. Lovely pass to find Bennett on the right hand side. He'll look to scamper away, and he's pushed over. No free kick, but Bennett's got up anyway, and he's still got the ball. Finding Knight away from a little flick of a challenge. Has to scoot his way back towards the halfway line, where Rossi will ferry the ball on towards Gibbons, laying it back in field. Brophy looks for return pass, doesn't come, instead he lays it off. United keeping possession, going wide towards the right hand side where Mamadou Job's come forward, but it's been quickly closed down. He can turn though, and he can get Bennett away, and he's found a little bit of space for Bennett. Bennett again will be penned in by two, and in the end it comes off for the Hughes man for the throw to Birmingham.
Yeah, Kumas and Wagner just doubling up on Liam Bennett. They know he's a bit of a threat, and they're spotting that now as the game has been worked through in this first half, because he's seen a lot of the ball, hasn't he? United's number 2, and the fact that they are having to double up on him at times is, well, testament to the work he's done.
Birmingham in possession. They've been forced back, and just on the edge of the area, Clara has to whack the ball away. There's Rossi on halfway, and he's been dispossessed by Furuhashi, and Furuhashi's in on goal with Eastwood to beat, and he scores! Mistake by Rossi on halfway. Furuhashi seized on it, scampered away from the United defence, and scored with aplomb into the bottom corner. 42 minutes gone, Hughes 0, Birmingham 2.
Yeah, glaring error, wasn't it, from Zeno Rossi? You cannot do that against a championship side. You cannot dither on the ball. If you get a chance to clear your lines, and he just never looked like he had the ball fully under control. It's a big error from United's number 16. He'll be kicking himself because he's raced onto that. First goal in 24 for Furuhashi, and he finished it well, but shouldn't have been given the opportunity in the first place, and so close to the interval as well, Jono.
That has really changed the complexion of the game for me, Doug Shulman.
Yeah, very much so, very much so.
Changed the complexion of Neil Harris's half-time team talk, I would think.
Yeah, it has. I mean, at 1-0, you're still very much in it. It's still balanced well. United were playing well. The press was good. They looked relatively comfortable in the main defensively, but you cannot make mistakes like that, unfortunately.
Kyogo Furuhashi made no mistake. That was a really nice finish.
It was. I bet he couldn't believe his luck, but you cannot dally and dilly with a ball in those kind of situations with a striker breathing down your neck of championship quality.
I think Rossi just has his revenge on him, actually, his little drag back that wasn't given. Furuhashi looking round a little bit cross. Doesn't get the free kick.
Yeah, they've got the cushion they want, haven't they, just before the break as well.
Birmingham fans have turned up the volume. There's the ball across towards Clara on the edge of their own area. United could do with something back before half time, with a minute plus change to go before the break. Birmingham looking increasingly comfortable with that 2-goal lead.
Yeah, it's the cushion they wanted, and the cup upset is looking a little further away now, Jono, isn't it?
Yeah.
United, of course, they'll go into this one 14 unbeaten in all competition. They they're desperate to ensure that run continues, but it looks a challenge at the moment.
It does, otherwise we'll be turning back to the 10 unbeaten in the league stat, won't we? As the ball over the top for Hashi would chase. Hughes will get numbers back, and Rossi puts it out for a throw to Birmingham, close to the corner flag. Last few knockings of normal time at the end of this first half. Cambridge United 0, Birmingham 2.
Yeah, he needed the goal, Furuhashi, didn't he? Say 24 without Japanese striker.
Iwata with the throw into the area. Down against the hand of Marvin Dutch. And United will get the free kick in their own penalty area.
Yeah, it's just taking the punch out the atmosphere from a Hughes perspective, hasn't it?
Yeah, it couldn't have gone much better from Birmingham point of view. They've let United blow themselves out a little bit.
Yeah, they have a little.
Scored
haven't
a
they?
minute after United's big chance of the half, and then a second just before half time.
That's a lesson you have to learn, isn't it? That you just can't. League Two, you get away with one or two situations, but when you're playing a Championship side, not so much.
There's Birmingham in possession over on that left hand side with Kumas. Lays it back in field to Dutch. 2 minutes to be added, minimum thereof. Birmingham lead by 2-0. Ball play forward and goes all the way through to the fire engine red clad Jake Eastwood. So Neil Harris's message for half time, Doug Shulman?
Get yourself an early goal in the second half. I think they will need to at some point. Just give a little bit more at the top end of the pitch, whether it's going with two, and providing a little bit more support for Louis Apperet in the form of Shane Lavery. But it's really just try and stay in the game as much as you can and get that early goal in the second half. Because they've done a lot of good work, United, but it's been let down by one glaring error. And the first goal, of course, huge deflection on the way through. But when they do get those opportunities, we've seen one for Ben Knight, put them away.
Birmingham in possession. We've had nearly a minute of the two to be added at the end of this first half. Had promise for the U's, but disappointment so far. Clara for Birmingham will clip it forward, looking for Iwata, who's continued his run round that right hand side, and he'll get there as well. Gibbons goes with him, but the cross still comes into the area. Rossi lets it bounce in the box. Ball on the edge of the area, hooks it straight up into the air. United haven't cleared. Birmingham player goes down, nothing doing. Hughes will clear now, and Apperet brings it down well on halfway. Turns away to his left and scampers forward. Holds off one challenge but can't take the ball with him. Roberts wins it back. Apperet brings him down. Free kick. Chance to break wasted by United.
Whether he's seen James Brophy out on the left hand side, Louis Apperet, I'm not entirely sure, but he'd made a decent run down this left channel, James Brophy, and that final touch really let him down, Louis Apperet.
Nearly had the two advertised additional minutes at the end of this first half. Hughes trailing by 2-0. Free kick to Birmingham inside their own half. James Beadle will take. He had a few moments when he was incommoded in the first half early on, but United have not really kept the pressure on, not been able to. And there goes the half-time whistle, a half which started promisingly for United and turned really on two incidents within a minute, around about the half-hour spot, where Ben Knight fired well over after getting the ball back on about the penalty spot, and United had recycled the ball a couple of times. Birmingham unable to clear it. And then a minute later, Birmingham breaking down the left-hand side. Shot from Furuhashi, which was blocked initially, but it ran out towards Kai Wagner. His deflected effort went in. From then on, Birmingham looked reasonably comfortable and made it 2 on 42 minutes. When Zeno Ibsen Rossi was denied or lost possession on halfway, Furuhashi ran away from him, spotted the advancing Jake Eastwood and fired the ball into the bottom corner to give United plenty of work to do in the second half. Half time at the Abbey, it's Cambridge United 0, Birmingham City 2.
Do you know what I found the most disappointing really, John, about that half is that we heard Neil Harris and his real sense of intensity, his enthusiasm for the competition, his focus ahead of the game, and we haven't really seen that in the performance. It's all been, the U's haven't done too much wrong, but it's just all been a bit flat.
You're right, it wasn't really up and at 'em for the FA Cup. It was more like a wet weekend in Fleetwood, wasn't it? And United never really found that tempo and passion that they were looking for, other than perhaps the first 10-15 minutes or so, after which time they'd blown themselves out. Birmingham realised that, hey, actually they haven't got a huge threat in front of goal, and once Knight missed that big chance, United have been a shadow of their earlier selves from this match.
I suppose credit where it's due for Birmingham, and we spoke in the build-up around, well, last season in League One, a lot of experience of coming to this sort of away stadium and getting the job done. Their the way they've approached the game has actually been really impressive.
Yeah, I think there's much in what you say. It's because they've been there, done that, and got the trophy from last season in very similar sort of situations where they were big favourites against teams like United week in, week out, and did enough to put most of them to the sword, and they're doing so again today. They haven't been spectacular, they've been steady, they've taken their chances when they've had them, and that's been the difference between the two sides. For me, United have had one chance they didn't take, Birmingham have had two they did, and that's the story of the first half for me.
Yeah, really frustrating. Well, for Zeno Ibsen Rossi obviously making the mistake, but the timing of the error as well. You said it in commentary, it just changes completely the nature of Neil Harris's team talk. And if you're Birmingham, you're thinking, right, at half-time at the Abbey against a side in League Two, we're 2-0 up. Really, it is on us now to see this out and get the job done. 81333 if you'd like to send us a text message, CAM. That's how you need to be starting your messages. We're on Twitter if you'd like to tweet us at BBC Cam Sport. And we're also on WhatsApp, 08000 321 333, 08000 321 333. CAM is how you need to be starting your WhatsApps, otherwise they can head off to other parts of the BBC. And that is the same with the texts as well. This one coming in from Bobby. Zeno Ibsen Rossi's had a shocker out there this evening. Neil Harris will be regretting failing to recall Michael Morrison. What has happened to Kel Watts? Well, we'll aim to discover exactly what's taken place with Kel Watts later in the programme, but you would imagine it's injury or illness related. This one from Brian. You have to feel sorry for Zeno Ibsen Rossi in some respects. The difference in class between League Two and the Championship, you cannot get away with that sort of error. Derek says we pushed our luck in playing Zeno Ibsen Rossi for 2 games in a row. As to be fair, he's never more than 89 minutes away from a calamity. Pelly Ruddock should be charged the admission fee for watching that first half, given his performance, and you can see the difference in levels where Birmingham pop a ball in behind and find feet. At the moment, we're just hitting the advertising hoardings. A goal back though, and we would have a chance, but I fear we could be in a situation where Birmingham are scoring 3, 4 or 5. Well, to crack out the football cliches, next goal's going to be very important. But I think I'd have felt happier saying that at 1-0 down, at 2-0 down. You just think for Birmingham, they're going to have enough about them, surely, to control this game. But we will see. We will see what Neil Harris can conjure up in terms of his half-time team talk. Let's take a look then at other later scores in the FA Cup. 3 other matches having kicked off at 5:45 alongside the game here at the Abbey. Bristol City are leading Watford by 2-0 in an all-championship tie. Grimsby are 1-0 up against Weston-super-Mare, and Aston Villa are 2-0 up at Tottenham, piling further pressure on Thomas Frank, who's having a tough time of it as Spurs manager. It's a tough old gig though, isn't it, being manager of Tottenham Hotspur. At 8 o'clock in the FA Cup, we've got Charlton taking on Chelsea. Let's do the results from earlier. The couple of headline games, I suppose. One absolutely standout, Macclesfield of the National League North beating Crystal Palace 2-1. Former Peterborough United man Isaac Buckley-Ricketts with what turned out to be the winning goal for Macclesfield. And Manchester City hitting double figures against Exeter, a 10-1 win. You would think, though, Pep Guardiola is going to be a bit frustrated to have lost the clean sheet there. Exeter scoring in the very final minute of normal time. Let's do the rundown then of the other matches from earlier. Leicester with a 2-0 win over Cheltenham. 1-1 between Everton and Sunderland after extra time. Sunderland winning 3-0 on penalties. Wolves with a 6-1 win over Shrewsbury. Wolves have, I was going to say, finally found their level, but that's a bit harsh. They have been struggling, though, in the Premier League this season. Burton with a 5-0 win at Boreham Wood. Burnley thrashing Millwall 5-1. Southampton with a 3-2 win at Doncaster. Fulham 3, Middlesbrough 1 at Craven Cottage. Ipswich beating Blackpool 2-1. It finished 3-3 between Newcastle and Bournemouth, with Newcastle winning 7-6 on penalties. Quite a few spot kicks required to find a winner in that one. Brentford with a 2-0 win at Hillsborough over Sheffield Wednesday. Stoke 1, Coventry 0. In League One, our commentary earlier this afternoon, Peterborough United with a 3-1 win over Bolton. Jimmy J Morgan opening the scoring, Matty Garbett making it 2-0 to the Posh. Bolton got back in the game at 2-1, but just a minute later Kyrell Lisby restoring Posh's 2-goal advantage, and the final score 3-1. Elsewhere in League One, Stockport with a 1-0 win over Huddersfield. Luton beating Stevenage 2-1, and it finished 1-1 between Leyton Orient and Cardiff. In League Two, just a couple of matches this afternoon. Crewe against Harrogate finishing as a 1-1 draw. Bromley remain at the top of the table following a 2-0 win over Tranmere. Mark Johnson and Doug Shulman, your commentary team for the game this evening, live from the Abbey Stadium across all frequencies here on BBC Radio Cambridgeshire and on BBC Sounds within the UK, as it's the FA Cup. Doug, what did you make of the U's first half performance?
I thought it was okay in the main, but I guess it's really kind of underlined in terms of the difference in the quality between the two sides in terms of two divisions, in that you give a championship side a couple of chances and all of a sudden they've got the ball in the back of the net. It was a glaring mistake, wasn't it, from Zeno Rossi? But I thought in the main, United, when they've gone forward, they've looked a threat. I thought they've stretched Birmingham at times. They've got bodies into the box at times, but you have to be a little bit more ruthless. You have to be a little bit more creative at times, and they paid the price with the 2 goals that Birmingham scored. But in the main, I thought they've been pretty well organised. But yeah, it's a harsh game sometimes, football, isn't it?
Yeah, they've done okay, haven't they? They've done okay, but sometimes you need a little bit more, and they've left themselves with a mountain to climb, given that we know Cambridge United under Neil Harris chasing games is not their preferred position, and particularly chasing a game against a side from a couple of levels higher.
Yeah, and when you've got to get 3 goals now to go through to the next round, so it's a really, really big ask. Jono was asking me just before the break what we think Neil Harris could do, and he's a little bit limited in terms of the options that he's got off the bench to put at the top end, really. You've got Shane Lavery there, of course, but I guess they're in a position where they've got no option but to go for it to an extent. But yeah, it's a harsh game, football at times, and I guess if they can get themselves an early goal in that second half, then it may change the complexion a little bit. But yeah, I think Birmingham, when you look at it, probably deserve their lead because they've taken their chances when they've fallen for them. But yeah, it's difficult for United, isn't it? Because they haven't done a huge amount wrong other than that slip for Zeno and Rossi. I think United have actually done a decent job in central midfield. The Ruddock, Ball, Hoddle, the trio has worked pretty well. Obviously, Pelly Ruddock getting a little further forward to try and support Louis Appere at times, but yeah, it's a real shame, and it's a long way back, isn't it, for United, I think?
Just a sense, really, that they've lacked a bit of a spark this evening. You need that moment, don't you, in an FA Cup tie, where the home side, where the crowd then can really get behind you, and there hasn't really been enough for the U's faithful to really get their teeth into. No,
there hasn't. I mean, there's been moments where United have sort of overloaded and have got bodies into the box, but that chance of Ben Knight really was the big one for them. They haven't created a huge amount aside of that. There was a chance for Liam Bennett, wasn't there, as well, that was just lifted into the hands of the keeper, really, and then it was a difficult one for him. But yeah, they haven't created that extensive period of pressure and haven't forced the keeper into too many saves and haven't had too many shots full stop, really. And it's a shame, because I do think they look susceptible at times, Birmingham, but United need to make them pay, and need to make them pay more often, and early in the second half would be nice, wouldn't it?
And there hasn't even been that moment of, say, some dramatic defending to really get the fans excited, in that the U's up to a point have managed Birmingham relatively comfortably, and then it's been a case of Birmingham have got a couple of goals, but it's all been quite low key.
Yeah, it has been a little bit, and there were times through that first I mean, the first goal came on 31 minutes in that opening 25 minutes or so, where it was a little bit flat. The crowd felt a little bit flat. That's both Birmingham fans and Hughes fans, and it just needed something to lift the atmosphere a little bit. And unfortunately for United, they couldn't quite find the opening that they wanted. And they've been good, haven't they, over the last couple of months or so, in terms of really taking the game to an opposition, especially here at the Abbey, where they've got such a phenomenal record. But yeah, they just need to have that little bit of spark, and it's something they need to create themselves. So you look down at the bench and there are one or two options in people like Shane Lavery, Silly Kai there as well, plenty of experience. Elias Kachunga, plenty of experience. So he could opt for a youngster that would just run at the Birmingham back line in Glenn McConnell, but I think you'll just see how the opening 10-15 minutes perhaps goes in this second half. The key really for United, don't concede again.
Yeah, John, you just get caught in this really awkward bind. It's why the Zeno Rossi mistake for the second goal is so frustrating, in that at 1-0 down, Neil Harris just says, well, the game plan doesn't change all that much. We remain combative, solid. We're not going to take too many risks, and we wait for our opportunity to come along. We'll perhaps spring on the break if we can do work a set play. The problem is when you're 2-0 down, you get in this awkward position where that probably isn't enough.
You're in a double bind actually at the moment, or United are, what they do in the second half, and if it doesn't work, how they bounce back next Saturday, because that's already starting to form in my mind anyway, because if you go on a long unbeaten run, the test is what happens immediately after that ends. And if it ends tonight, what Neil Harris will have to do is paint this as, well, the unbeaten run actually only relates to the league, and that's still where our main focus is. But in his heart of hearts, he'll know that they could have done more in this first half, and if they'll need to give it a go in the second half. But whatever happens, unless there's some dramatic comeback in the second half, then he's got some work to do next week ahead of the trip to Fleetwood, I think.
Yeah, he'll feel it's just been a bit meek, won't he? He will feel, you mentioning there, the U's could have done more. Well, quite clearly they could have done more, but it's just that sense of it's lacked that spark, and I wonder whether he'll be able to inject that during the half-time break, or whether the fact the U's are 2-0 down makes that just too difficult.
Well, he's almost got to approach it as, well, it's 0-0, but do what you should have been doing perhaps from the start of the game, which was make it feel like an FA Cup tie, make it feel like a difficult place for Birmingham to come, make it feel that, yeah, United are underdogs, but they've got some teeth, make it feel that Birmingham, yeah, they might be favourites, but they're not going to have it all their own way. And for so much in this first half, that hasn't really happened. That's been the disappointment. United have not made it feel like an FA Cup tie. And Neil Harris, I think, will probably be the most disappointed about that.
Something that we will have to keep an eye on for the second half is just the condition of the pitch.
Yeah.
In that the temperature is dropping rapidly, as was forecast here at the Abbey. And I didn't notice particularly any players slipping. That tends to be the giveaway that is starting to freeze up, is when players can't keep their footing. So it'll be something just to keep an eye on.
Well, the majority of my weather apps say it's already freezing, and I believe them.
And given what the pitches, I'm no expert, but given what the pitch has been through over the past week to 10 days, you do wonder, therefore, whether it's likely to deteriorate in condition more quickly. We will see. We will see. I'm clutching straws a little bit, thinking that an abandonment might be what we need at this stage.
That might favour the U's actually, if it's difficult to play on for the Championship club. Anyway.
Maybe, but then of course that second goal, it does feel like a bit of a killer. Right, the teams are back out for the second half. Doug Shulman, Mark Johnson, your commentary team for us here on BBC Radio Cambridgeshire across all frequencies and on BBC Sounds.
The sound of Cambridgeshire. BBC Radio Cambridgeshire Sports.
No changes at the break, and we're underway again as Birmingham in all blue from right to left. Get this game going once more. Birmingham fans in the south stand tonight. The north have been empty as Zeno Ibsen Rossi heads the ball away. United pick it up with Knight, who had United's best, probably only chance in that first half, as Hoddle with a loose pass, but Ball did really well to get a foot in. United back in possession and winning a throw, with Eastwood in goal. Then a back four of Bennett, Jobe, Ibsen Rossi and Gibbons. Hoddle behind Knight, Ball, Ruddock and Brophy. Appere leading the line for the U's. Amber shirts, black stripes, black shorts, black socks. Throw down the line looking for Appere, but he's beaten to it by Wagner, the scorer of Birmingham's first goal. He lays it off. Clara looking for the run with Iwata, very adventurous right back on that right hand side. Support behind him as well. All clipped through, picked up by Pak Seng Ho for Birmingham. Midway inside the U's half, ball pinged in, forced wide by Dutch towards Iwata. U's getting the ball away. We'll run through the Birmingham side in a moment. They've gone strong. They only made 2 changes from their last team. Side that beat Championship leaders Coventry on Sunday.
Yeah, it was a win that, well, Chris Davis said really galvanised his side, and I think we're seeing the results of that, aren't we?
Ball threaded through the middle, good stretch by Job to get there, and then completed clearance by Gibbons. Fadaparo holds it up well on halfway, can't turn though, really strongly challenged, really well challenged as well by Jack Robinson, who was in quickly.
Did well to keep possession of the ball, didn't he, Louis Appere? Birmingham
with Beadle in goal, Iwata, Clara, Robinson and Wagner in defence. Doyle and Pike behind Roberts, Dutch, Kumas, with Furuhashi leading the line. And Furuhashi might be latching on to something now between the two back lines, lobs the keeper and puts it just wide. Well, ball through the middle, looking for Furuhashi, who got between the United centre halves and put it wide, and really should have made it 3-0.
Oh, he had his head in his hands. He knows that was a huge opportunity. He's scuttled off down the middle between the two United centre halves, and that's a let-off, isn't it, for United? Maybe even taking a lick of paint off the post, that one, you know. There's a huge opportunity, and again, it's a sign, isn't it, that you just can't make those kind of errors and let the ball drift between two centre halves like that.
Is this a day when this back four isn't quite working for? Or is it just the absence of Kel Watts, do you think, Doug?
Very possible. I have to say, I'm surprised that they didn't go with the 3.
So he's getting the ball forward. Appare's done well to Forage, midway inside the Birmingham half. Hoddle on to Ruddock. Ruddock wide towards Knight, level the edge of the area, looking to get to the byline. He's got defenders with him. Pulls it back as Ruddock shrugs off a defender. Gets it all the way back to Job in the centre circle. Takes a touch. Wide again to Pelly Ruddock on the right hand side. Down the line where Bennett skips infield. Looks to lay it off. That was a difficult pass that Brophy did well to flick on. And he'll get the ball back as well from Gibbons. Midway inside Birmingham territory. Wide to Gibbons. Bit of space for him to operate in. Down the line to Brophy. Brophy looks the return pass to Gibbons. Gibbons crossing to the area. Whipped away. And as far as Don Ball brings it down once, but not the second time. But it's run loose and Brophy will tiptoe forward. Brophy with deflected shot. Appere gets it back. Knight blazes over. Difficult chance for Ben Knight. Felt him on the edge of the box. Slightly behind him. Did well to get so much power into it, but couldn't get the accuracy. But persistence from United. Knight again just couldn't keep his shot down.
No, he couldn't. From that kind of situation, it's almost a snapshot, isn't it, really? He's got to be working the keeper from that kind of distance, hasn't he? Likewise in the first half. 30th minute, just a minute before Wagner put Birmingham ahead. He had an opportunity on the edge of the box, and from that kind of distance, again, got to work the keeper.
Yeah, it's just behind him, wasn't it?
Yep.
Made it a difficult opportunity.
Yeah, just leant back very slightly, and it wasn't too far over the bar. But so United have got to start working this keeper, haven't they?
There's the clearance from Beadle. Come back into United's territory. They have to deal with it, which they do just about. And Rossi, under a bit of pressure, gets it away, and Hoddle works it clear. Picked up infield by Gibbons and by Brophy rather, and he's come across towards the right hand side with the ball where he found Mamadou Job, who dances away from Kumas, lays it off. Nice turn by Brophy in the centre circle, wide towards Knight over halfway. Kumas trying to get back to him and he can't. He'll go wide towards Bennett on the right hand side. Deep cross, deep towards that far post, might be a bit deep. Ruddock will keep it in by the byline. Goes wide towards Gibbons, looks to roll it into the area. Nice pass as well down the line, looking to hold it off. Knight picks it up, tries to get it back towards Brophy. Can Brophy turn? He can't. He can find a bit of help from Ball, who had to move the referee out of the way. Runs loose to Jobe. Jobe edge of the box, rolling forward, wide to Bennett. Bennett cross into the area, nodded away, falls towards Brophy. Brophy brings it down, shot deflected, and away it goes for a corner. Better from United, much better.
Yeah, much better. They've danced the ball from left to right, left and then right again, and just enough time there, wasn't there, for James Brophy to get a shot away. It took a desperate bit of defending in the end just to see it away, but that's better from United finding space in the box.
Goal here, put the cat among the pigeons. Corner then, left-footed out swinging. Will be Brophy to take. Plenty forward for United, all back for Birmingham, and it comes now. Nodded away again by the Birmingham defence. Comes back towards Brophy, who gets it down the line. Looks to return pass and will meet it as well. Into the area he goes. Shot comes cross, takes a deflection. Hoiked away by the Birmingham defence towards the centre circle. Bennett gets underneath it, but Birmingham will look to break forward. Bennett's there again in the centre circle to charge forward and lay it out. He was looking for Ruddock, who can stretch to reel it in. But United have won it back with Gibbons on the left-hand side, high up the field, level with the edge of the box. Cross whipped into the box, nodded away by Clara towards Knight. Knight onto his right foot, shot takes a deflection and bounces kindly for the Birmingham keeper, James Beadle, who can collect with ease. Birmingham continue to lead by 2-0. Spirited start from the user.
Yeah, again, better from United, and they won the ball back on that far side. Had space in front of them as well, and it did well actually to get the shot away in the end, Ben Knight. But better from United, you feel.
And they put a little bit of pressure on. They forced Birmingham into conceding an unnecessary throw inside their own half, which Bennett will take. Down the right-hand side, we'll look for Apre, defender across to whip it away. Dutch works it back infield. Furahashi, though, gives it away. United back on the ball with Gibbons down the left-hand side. Has to turn back into his natural right foot. Rolled across by ball to Jobe. Wide it'll go to Bennett. He'll have to go back towards Mamadou Jobe. Don Ball's sitting in the back line at the moment, and he's the deepest player. He gets the ball, rolls it across to Zenobson Rossi. He finds Brophy, sweeps it straight out for a throw.
Yeah, I think he expected James Gibbons to be standing there, but he's just vacated the space, hasn't he? James Gibbons, and just didn't quite get the lines right on that particular occasion.
I'll leave you to talk amongst yourselves for a minute there, Doug. No, I'll tell you what, I'll talk amongst myself as we've got a visitor. There's the ball down the right-hand side. Chance for the cross. Into the air it goes, and Eastwood comes and makes a good claim. Salima Kambi fighting his way into the general area of the press area, and now he's given up. We did better than that for Bishop Stortford at Sudbury today, where he scored in a 2-0 win.
He's done well to hot-foot it over here in such swift time, hasn't he?
There's Hoddle and Bennett work the ball down the line to Knight. Knight holds off his man just. Hoddle under enormous pressure gets it forward. And the ball goes out for a throw to the U's. I don't know if you can manufacture him into this area. I think it might be difficult, Doug.
It might be tricky.
Move some of the detritus from around us first. That's your cup. Birmingham with the throw. Thank you.
Was.
Birmingham with the throw. United with the throw. Level with the edge of the area. Right hand side. Which Gibbons will take to launch into the box. From this right hand side. Looking for the flick. Apre nearly got there. Knight almost did, but Furahashi whips it away, and that will find touch. I don't know where you're going with all this stuff, Doug, but it seems like we're moving house almost here. I've never seen so many notes and bits of accoutrement passed from two people. Anyway, long throw over on the left-hand side, which in fact goes short, back towards Brophy, back to Gibbons. Gibbons will deliver the cross into the area, stooping header away, will run towards Bennett, long way out. He'll find Brophy again. Hoddle now, midway inside the Birmingham half, goes wide towards that right-hand side. Gibbons will deliver the ball in, can't do so, but can find Ruddock, who couldn't pierce the back line. Birmingham will clear, long ball forward, and Bennett has to turn on the afterburners first to get there ahead of Furahashi. Hughes will get the ball away just about It will become stretched at the moment.
Yeah, very much so. They're sat quite deep at the moment, actually, Birmingham, aren't they? Allowing United to come onto them. But United having good spells of possession here.
Here is Knight going wide towards Bennett. Down the right-hand side, over the edge of the box, into the area, looking for the run of Knight, who'd continued it. But Birmingham had numbers back. He used that with Bennett, and Knight won it back on that right-hand corner. We'll look to try and twist and turn. Knight finds Bennett. Chance for Bennett to cross. He can't do so, but he can tease the ball back to Don Ball, who turned. It could go nowhere forward, but moans and groans from the crowd as he had to go back. Rossi will pick up the ball now, and he'll stride forward and continue doing so until he was closed down. But Birmingham can't hold on to the ball at the moment. Don Ball can.
Yeah, I think when the ball was, landed at the feet of Don Ball out on this right-hand side, perhaps expected him just to lift the ball back into the 18-yard box and just cause a little bit of trouble, but he opted for safety first, didn't he?
It wasn't really there, was it? As Rossi was caught late by Furuhashi, who offers a hand of apology. Hughes will get the free kick, which they take from, the same pitch, but that's about as close as you can say about it.
Yeah, he was looking to just nip in and rob the ball from Zeno Ibsen Rossi again, as he did in the first half, to get his goal. Furuhashi.
12 minutes into the second half. Hughes trail by 2, but Bennett's striding forward, finding Don Ball in the centre circle. He's not got any width. Now he has. Wide on the left-hand side with Gibbons. Gibbons will charge forward and look to take on the defender and deliver the cross into the area. Can't find Apre. Knight was pulling the trigger before the ball arrived. Birmingham clear, but United back in possession. This is really good stuff from the Hughes. Can they force an opening? As Brophy strides forward, he can go wide to Gibbons again, who wants the ball. Level with the edge of the box on the left. Strides infield, delivers it high, deep towards the far post. Bennett gets his head to it. Apre down towards Knight. Shot blocked. And Birmingham will clear their lines. Joe will pick up the pieces and he'll stride forward, and he's held off a challenge and he continues his run, and he'll find Knight again. Knight's cross into the area is charged down. Wagner comes away with it for Birmingham, holds it up, finds Doyle. Doyle will try and calm things down for a minute, but United had a really good spell there for a moment.
Yeah, stepped it up a gear, haven't they, in terms of their pace and their drive to get forward. Mamadou Jobe on that occasion.
Birmingham looking to play out from the back. Ruddock making life awkward for them. But they've succeeded in doing so. Pike getting it forward towards the halfway line. It's held up for a minute. Now they'll switch it towards the left-hand side where Wagner will get filled. The ball down the line. It's a really good one as well. Finding Kumas. Kumas to the byline. Cross across the face of goal. United have to be careful, and they are, with Gibbons with a little nod back to his keeper. He did trail by 2-0, 14 minutes into the second half.
He did well under pressure there, didn't he, James Gibbons? Aware of what was around him.
United trying to play out from the back, and now they're being pressured for doing so. And Jobe goes back to Eastwood in the end, and Eastwood will clear right-footed for Cambridge United. Misjudged in the air by the Birmingham man. Hughes pick it up. Apre finding Ball, who looks the ball over the top, looking for Knight, who puts his head down, charges after it, won't get there. Birmingham clear. Ball with a head across into touch.
He asked a lot of Ben Knight, didn't it? And the ball lofted into that open space in the right-hand channel, but yeah, just too much really for Ben Knight to latch onto that one, unfortunately.
It's coming up to the hour mark. Hughes trailed by 2-0 as the ball from halfway goes all the way back to the keeper, who didn't want it. It was off balance really. He scooped it away, brought down by Brophy nearly. Ruddock can't get there, and in the end, Tommy Doyle, who started all that nonsense with a ridiculous back pass off balance from the halfway line, comes back to bail Birmingham out.
Yeah, I'm not sure the goalkeeper thanked him for it.
I suspect not. It's Birmingham back in possession on this left-hand side.
Just can't quite find that opening, despite some heavy pressure at times for the Hughes.
Yeah, now Birmingham in possession. This goes wide towards the left-hand side, looking for the run of Roberts. Roberts now taking on defender, comes back towards Pake, who looks to lay it off towards Doyle. Doyle 25 yards out, goes to the top corner, and first bounce into the south stand. Never looked entirely convincing.
No, it was a poor effort, wasn't it? And always rising from the moment it left his right boot, to be honest.
Michael Morrison warming up on this near touchline for the Hughes.
There's a little bit of movement on the United bench. We're on the hour mark, Jono, so it's not unexpected.
Well, they've got to do something, haven't they?
Yeah, exactly. Well, we said, didn't we, at half-time when we spoke to Peter that, 10, 15 minutes, they need to get that goal back to reduce the deficit if they can. It hasn't quite worked for them despite some decent endeavour at times, so time for change perhaps.
It's Birmingham back on the ball with Iwata, who plays it down the right-hand side. Really nice pass. Looking for a Hashi wide on the right, looking to take on the defender. Skips back in field. Support behind him. Goes back to Iwata, who looks to keep possession. Birmingham just been told by their manager just to slow things down for a moment, I think. Just take the sting out of the game.
Now, United started the second half as you would expect them to. Well, they've ridden it out, Birmingham.
They did it to an extent in the first half as well, actually. That's the ball wide to Wagner, who scored that first goal. Big deflection just after the half hour mark, but it's nicked back by Apre, and Apre can find Ruddock, and Ruddock can put the ball away to Brophy on the left-hand side, just outside the box. Looking to get wide. Cross comes into the area behind Ruddock, brought down by Knight. Knight with a shot, takes a deflection. Does it? Goes under the roof of the stand. Didn't take a deflection and still went onto the roof of the stand. Goal kick.
Well, he's had his opportunities, hasn't he, Ben Knight? That was obviously very, very difficult, but 3 opportunities now. He's ballooned over the bar, and here come those changes, Jono.
As Hughes will make the changes, Lavery and Kaikai to come on, I think. Which makes sense. Lavery, Kaikai replaces Brophy. 63rd minute.
And he'll operate out on that left-hand side, you would imagine, so almost a straight swap, really.
Now, this is not a straight swap. As Don Ball comes off and Shane Lavery comes on.
I think that's the right move as well. They need another body at the top end of the pitch. You don't get the body at the top end of the pitch. The additional man, yes, you're sacrificing someone in midfield. You increase your chances, don't you, of perhaps hitting the back of the net with an extra body up there, and I think Louis Apre will be quite pleased to have someone alongside him.
So what will United do here, I wonder, Doug? Change of shape, same shape?
Got to be 4-4-2, hasn't it, Jono?
It's got to be, hasn't it, really? Kaikai on the left, Knight still on the right.
And that's a natural position for Sule Kaikai on that left-hand side as well, so I mean they just can stretch the play a little.
Just over 6,200 here, 1,400 or so Birmingham fans. As the ball forward again, Apre puts pressure on, and Robinson has to put it out quickly for a throw to United.
Well, Shane Lavery certainly a man who knows how to score against Birmingham.
Lavery and Apre as a front two, haven't seen that very often. There's Bennett in towards Lavery, who's eased off the ball, and a crunching challenge from Knight, and United will have the throw.
As Shane Lavery scored in that defeat for United final game of the season. He pulled it back to 1-1, didn't he, Shane Lavery? A lovely strike as well, way to our left in front of the south stand, and something similar would be nice, but the Newmarket Road end, of course.
Yeah. Hughes with the throw, 25 yards out, right hand side, long throw to be launched in. Suspect it's Gibbons, and it is. Looking for the flick, and it got it as well from Rossi. Half cleared, brought down by Hoddle. Couldn't quite get Kaikai away. Birmingham will look to break. Hoddle stops them and puts it out for a throw to Birmingham.
And Habiner aghast, as is George Hoddle. He felt that perhaps had come off the Birmingham man.
20 minutes into the second half on BBC Radio Cambridgeshire on a misty Abbey evening. It's Cambridge United 0, Birmingham 2.
He'll be pleased with the reaction in this second half so far, Neil Harris, despite the lack of a goal.
There's lovely turn by Hoddle and volley away. Half cleared by Birmingham. Ruddock wins it back for the U's. Finds Gibbons, who has to go back to Rossi, just outside his own area. He'll find his keeper, and Jake Eastwood will play it across towards this right-hand side. Mamadou Jobe in possession. Wants a bit of movement, we'll find it from Hoddle. Key role for him to hold one half of the defensive midfield side as Kaikai turns nicely and finds Gibbons, and Gibbons over the halfway line on that left-hand side finds Kaikai again, flicking it on to Lavery. Lavery looking to for the return pass, but that was beaten away. Lavery will try and win it back, can't quite do so.
It was over ambitious, wasn't it, from Shane Lavery? You could see from here that it was going to go straight into the path of the Birmingham man. He was looking for the left-hand channel, but yeah, needs to be better than that.
As Apre nearly wins the ball back, and Clara goes down, winning a free kick. It was Owata actually. There was contact, but not a lot. And let's just say he made sure the referee spotted it.
Yeah, it was a hand on the shoulder and gave the opportunity for the Birmingham man to go down, didn't it?
Yeah, it's always going to be given. Always. There's Birmingham then with a free kick from just outside their own penalty area. Strange atmosphere at times today.
It is. United are just waiting for that moment, aren't they, to get back into this game, but
Actually runs into Mamadou Jobe and wishes he hadn't. United come away with the ball. Bennett, though, has been turned into trouble and turns away from Kumas. Leaves Kumas sitting on his backside. Long ball forward from Bennett, half cleared by the Birmingham defence.
Well, they enjoyed that, the Abbey faithful, didn't they?
Bennett wins the header again ahead of Kumas. Ruddock with the ball down the line. Knight corralled. Ruddock nearly wins the ball back, impossibly, but Birmingham back on the ball. There's Kumas going back into his own half.
He's showing plenty of energy, isn't he, this evening? Pelly Ruddock in that slightly more advanced position that he's used to.
As Bennett nudges his man over, and there'll be a free kick just over the halfway line. Midway point of the second half on BBC Radio Cambridgeshire with me, Mark Johnson. Doug Shulman alongside. Cambridge United 0, Birmingham 2 in this FA Cup third round match.
A bit harsh, wasn't it? I thought that free kick, not a lot in that. He's just gone to ground a little bit too easily, I think, Kumas.
Yeah, it's what used to be called an Old Trafford free kick, didn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
Free kick deep into United territory. Rossi rose well. It's wide towards that right hand side, where it's brought down nicely by Kai. Long ball forward by Gibbons. Apre tries to win something. Lavery can't either. It's cleared by Birmingham. Little nod down by Jobe. Laid off. Hoddle towards the right hand side. Finding Bennett. Ball down the line. There's a chase for Apre, which he will get nowhere near. And they'll run through to Beadle.
He was looking to lick that down the right hand side and bend it round the defender, but yeah, just a little bit too much weight on it, wasn't there, from Liam Bennett. No way that Louis Apre was going to latch onto that. But United just need to keep going here, Jono, don't they?
Yeah, they haven't really tested the England under-21 keeper, have they?
No, Ben Knight's had the opportunities, hasn't he? But each of his three opportunities blazed over the bar.
As United via Bennett on this near side up against Kumas, who tries to bring him down and fails. Bennett holds him off. And Lewis Kumas, spit an image of his dad, who also played with his socks rolled down, didn't he?
He did, yeah. Decent player, Jason Kumas.
Oh,
as
absolutely,
well, wasn't he?
Yeah. United with Rossi across to Bennett, and he'll get the ball back as well. 20 minutes or so to go. Hughes with a 2-goal deficit to chase down. They've given it a go for 20 minutes or so of the second half, but as yet, visiting keeper untested.
Yeah, he is, isn't he? And their back line just holding firm at the moment. They get the central midfielders back, just protecting as well, and it's a difficult one for United in terms of breaching this back line at the moment.
Hoddle lays it across towards the right hand side. United just have the air of a side that's just gathering itself again for another push.
He does obviously made the substitution, so
Bennett with a heavy touch.
Body up top.
Nearly gave the ball to Marvin Dux, but ran through him to win it back. As the mist billows in again from Coldham's Common. Not a threat at the moment. As United lose possession on halfway. Dux goes wide towards Iwata on the right hand side, lays it into the area where arriving is Kumas. Diving header nods it into the arms really of Eastwood, who made a perfunctory save.
Yeah, good effort in the end, wasn't it? It just crept in between the two defenders and read the cross really well, actually, did Kumas, almost on the ground when he headed that ball.
Yeah.
Well, he was on the ground.
He was. It was a tame header in the end, but arrived. His timing was really good. It's Birmingham possession, ball round the corner again. A little nod down though from Gibbons, who's had a solid old game. He get the ball back to his keeper. United back in possession. With changes coming, I think. Ball on towards Knight, turns away from his man who's too tight to him and rolls forward and goes wide towards Lavery on the right hand side. He's got Apparay in the middle of him, pick him out, too deep for him. Runs back to Knight, who finds Ruddock. Ruddock finds Knight again. Ruddock will lay it off wide to Sole Kaikai, left hand side, looking to take on the defenders. Can he pick out a cross from there? He can't, but he can lay it back. Gibbons with a cross into the area, diving header away from Christoph Clara. Hughes will pick it up once more. Hoddle in the centre circle for United. Lays it off towards the right hand side. Hughes going forward from left to right, attacking up the hill towards the Newmarket Road end in the second half.
The 2 changes it looks like for United, Jono.
United driving forward again. Ruddock will pick it up and chip it forward towards the edge of the box, but he didn't get the elevation. It was well read by the Birmingham defence, who were then cleared out by Ruddock. Referee trying to play advantage, didn't succeed. United win the ball back. And Knight with a nice turn, he holds off the attempted foul from Furuhashi, who ends up in a heap. Referee playing a good advantage. Ball down the line to Kaikai, who looks to turn his man. He gets past one, he gets past a second. He might do in the corner there. He can't find any help. Birmingham will clear their lines.
Perrington, one of the men, going to be introduced from a United perspective, Jono.
United back on the ball, wide it will go towards that left hand side, lay back in field. Here's Hoddle in the centre circle, cross towards Jobe. Jobe will look for Bennett and does find him, level the edge of the area. Jobe's continued his run, comes short to Knight instead. He'll look to cut in field. Laid off well by Mamadou Jobe, actually back to Bennett. Bennett can't find a cross, but he can find Zeno Ibsen Rossi 35 yards out. Wide to Gibbons on the left hand side, looking to maraud forward, picks out a cross into the area. Lavery with a little flick of a header, and that's guided into the hands of the keeper.
Well, he's got himself in a good position there, more often than not, throughout this second half when the ball's come into the box. Just pause for a moment there, Jono, because Shane Lavery very close to just nicking the ball off the Birmingham defender.
74 minutes. Ben Purrington comes on for James Gibbons. Gibbons a solid game for him. And Pelly Ruddock comes off and Shane McLaughlin comes on for him.
He's put in a good shift, doesn't he, as we said a little earlier. A slightly more advanced position at times than we're ordinarily seeing him in this season. And he looks frustrated as he comes off the pitch, and you would expect that when you saw a 2-0 down and you haven't managed to make that breakthrough.
Birmingham have got a couple of changes coming, might even have 3. But not just yet, because they've been pingling in the over the fourth officials board. Don't like gold numbers. I don't know if I've mentioned it to you before, Doug. Even on a blue shirt, they're not nice. They're even worse than a white shirt. But they're all right in the middle of the pitch, but touch lines and such like, they're not any good. So Birmingham will make a change. Willem Williamson will come on. He'll replace Roberts. Icelandic.
Replacing number 9, Diogo Furuhashi, with number 27, Tanya Fujimoto.
Furuhashi comes off and Fujimoto comes on.
Yeah, he's got his goal, hasn't he? Furuhashi, and taking his time coming off the pitch, and the referee points us to his watch to say, don't worry, I'm adding it on.
I think that means Dutch will play a little bit further forward.
There's Birmingham man down, injured, so
just give them time to have a little think for the last quarter now.
Yeah, coming across for a drinks break. I'll be asking for a cup of hot soup, I think.
Yeah. rubbed down with a bit of liniment perhaps. So United called out a go. Well, they've got to go for it.
They have.
Will.
Yeah, they have. Obviously, McLaughlin on. Silly Kaiko we've already seen coming to the field of play. Shane Lavery as well. We had that header. It's a good position he put himself in, Shane Lavery, to get ahead on the ball. It's been frustrating, I think, for Neil Harris that United have had a good deal of possession at times, and if they haven't been able to ping the ball away in terms of a shot from the edge of the box, they played it wide, and Birmingham more often than not get that first contact, but Shane Lavery on that occasion just found himself a little bit of space.
And shows the depth of the squad. Bring on a couple of internationals, and Birmingham have got another man down. They're going to need to make another change. It's Jack Robinson comes off, and Phil Newman will come on. Neumann's a German international, or will be. So they bring on 3 internationals, or at some level.
It's not a bad switch to be able to make, is it? Former Schalke man, Neumann. 7 youth caps for Germany.
As Birmingham going forward, but giving the ball away, and United back in possession. McLaughlin lays it off towards that left-hand side, where Purrington will find Rossi, and he'll play it out from the back. But hurried clearance, in fact, and it falls into the area, and snapshot, and it's 3. Fell invitingly to Marvin Dutch, who was in space. United, dreadful goal to give away. Poor clearance from Eastwood. It's picked off, fed into the path of Dutch, who makes it 3-0, and that, I'm afraid, is United's FA Cup run over.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, it came out of nowhere really, but yeah, just sloppy from United, and they've been so good defensively this season. The last 14 games, they've been unbeaten, 9 clean sheets in that time, but yeah, they've been put to the sword here, and as we've said, with at least one of the previous 2, you can't make errors like that and expect to get away with it, and there was absolutely no one near Dukes, and he could pick his spot beyond Eastwood. And 1 or 2 United fans in the Habin stand opposite starting to trickle away now, Jono.
Well, I think they probably have my view of it. That's it as far as United are concerned for the FA Cup this year.
And they couldn't quite get that goal that some would say their play deserved to an extent in the opening 15-20 minutes of this second half, but they just haven't quite done enough, have they?
2 poor goals of the 3 being conceded, 2 really poor goals.
Yeah, unavoidable. As Neil Harris will no doubt label it when I speak to him after the game.
Gave it a go, but quality told in the end, and United's lack of firepower and a little bit of implosion have made life just that bit too difficult. There's the ball down the left-hand side again. Kumas in the foot race with Bennett, and he'll get there and he'll look to turn, and he pulls it back. Fujimoto gets it back towards this left-hand side again. Kumas under a bit of pressure and menaced away for a throw to United.
He did well, in fact, to get in front of Liam Bennett initially, Kumas, but he was a little stronger on that occasion, Mamadou Diop, for the Birmingham man. Frustration for United, isn't it, this one?
It is.
Not done enough in front of goal and punished for poor errors at the back.
Rarely had that cup tie feel for me.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, they've been relatively comfortable throughout, haven't they, Birmingham? And United, you think on paper this was an ideal opportunity to spring that upset. Wouldn't have been a massive upset, would have certainly been an upset with 2 divisions between the sides, but United haven't quite risen to the levels that they have done over the last couple of months, but up against a championship side, of course.
Absolutely. His ball wide towards Apre on the right hand side, who looked to get the cross in. He stands his man up, dances towards the area, shot comes in and he's fired in. It's Sule Kaikai who's pulled a goal back for United. There's Apre with a marauding run down the right hand side. Defender sat down, it took a deflection as it came back to Sule Kaikai, and he swept it home. 10 minutes to go. Let's use 1, Birmingham 3.
Yeah, he's taken his goal well, hasn't he? Sule Kaikai just swept into the bottom corner. Couldn't quite stretch, could he? Enough, the goalkeeper, to prevent it. And that's the goal, really, Jono, that they could have done with 10 minutes ago. That really would have made things interesting. Another goal would make it interesting, of course, but yeah, he's got himself into the score sheet.
And here come United again. Ball over the top to Lavery, who's offside. Flag up. Neil Harris doesn't entirely agree with the decision of the linesman.
And it was tight. He was looking to run in between the two defenders, wasn't he? The flag up quickly.
Kaikai's 5th goal of the season.
It's good work by Louis Appere in the build-up to that down this right-hand side, Jono, wasn't it?
Yeah, he pulled it back. It took a deflection to find its way back to Kaikai, but the work was done by Appere.
Yeah, absolutely. He did well to reach the ball initially when it looked like the defender was going to get there first, but he's managed to pick up the ball, drag it wide a little bit, and you thought for a moment the chance was gone, but suddenly Kaikai, right place, right time.
Tidy finish. Free kick anyway, launched towards the edge of the area. Jobe gets his head to it. Knight will try and play it down the line, but that's cut out. Hughes will have a throw. Knight has had 3 decent chances for United. He's worked hard. Ball down the line again. Clara comes across. Another throw to United, just about the halfway line. Hughes have had their opportunities.
Yeah, they have, haven't they? I mean, some of them falling for Ben Knight, but perhaps not enough. It's been the story at times of United in front of goal that don't quite do enough, and it's been exposed, hasn't it, against his Birmingham side. But well taken by Silly Kaikai.
Yeah.
That particular goal, he's 5th of the season, John, as well.
Yep.
Joint top scorer.
As Bennett nods the ball back, but he'll come back into Birmingham territory. Bennett with a strong challenge on Kumas, and there's Hoddle to tidy up and get the ball back to his keeper. And he clears it away. Missed really curling in now. It's not going to be in time to save United. But Hughes giving it a go as Hoddle got a kick on the foot for his troubles. Kaikai gets it wide to Knight on the right hand side. Wanted someone to go wide for him. Bennett did, but then checked his run. Now he's found him. He'll cut back in field and go back towards Mamadou Jobe. Finds a bit of help. Rossi will get the ball back to him. 8 minutes to go. Hughes trailed by 3-1.
That's a nice moment for them, the goal. Can they add to it? George Hoddle seems to have recovered. He's had another good game in the United shirt, hasn't he, Jono?
Yeah. Good part of his education as Eastwood with a long clearance for Clara will nod it away. Hoddle just got the wrong side of his man to win the ball back. Bennett forces it on to Kaikai. Clever little flick from him while his shirt was being pulled. Appere on to Lavery. Lavery was offside when he started his run. We can't believe it, but I'm afraid the linesman got that one right. And it's telling that Neil Harris shouts at Shane Lavery rather than the linesman.
He's furious down there on the touchline, isn't he?
Bit of rustiness, do you think?
Yeah, potentially, yeah. But again, United, I mean, credit to them. I mean, they were 3-0 down. They pulled the goal back, and they're still fully committed to try and get something from this one. Neil Harris wouldn't want anything less than these players.
Beadle in with the free kick, which he'll take eventually and launch forward. Clara's up from the back. Jobe wins the header, but he'll come back wide towards Kumas on the left-hand side. Support behind him, lays it off just for a moment. Hughes with numbers back, nearly winning it actually. Appere was caught a little bit late. Referee says play on.
Did he leave his foot in there, Wagner?
Yes. There's a ball wide towards the right-hand side where Purrington puts it away for a throw to Birmingham.
Yeah, no other option really. Ben Purrington, man, breathing down his neck. Just needed to clear his lines.
He was either breathing very heavily or the folks come in. It's the far side, that right-hand side.
Yeah, sweeping in from...
shrouded, isn't it?
Over the top of the south stand away to our left. We thought that had disappeared, but...
Hasn't brought the warmer weather with it either, has it?
He hasn't. I think I've still got feet.
If your boots rattle, you've still got all your toes, but no, maybe not attached. As Birmingham on the attack down that right-hand side, just outside the area. Hughes winning it back well. They're chipping it forward. They're looking for Appere. Appere will look to turn. He was brought down. He did so. United get the free kick.
Yeah, it's just dragged to the ground. United eager to get on with this, John, aren't they?
Crossing Newmarket Road following the end of the game to please use the pedestrian crossings to allow for a safe departure.
Yes, United then with a free kick just on halfway, and Jake Eastwood will take. 4 minutes to go, plus a bit of stoppage time. Hughes 1, Birmingham 3.
Not quite kitchen sink time, but they could do with getting it in there quickly.
That's the ball forward. Slip in Birmingham defence actually, as it's laid off towards Knight. Knight 10 yards outside the box, goes wide towards Jobe. Jobe will tease it down the line towards Kai. Kai looking to turn. He's got the ball at his feet and he'll look to lay it back towards Jobe. Jobe's crosses charged down, the expense of a throw close to the corner flag.
Yeah, good work between the two on that occasion. Silly Kai couldn't quite find enough of a space to dink it into the box.
Throw which will be taken, I think it's Jobe to take on this right hand side, and he'll look to launch it in. Level with the edge of the area, and it slipped rather, but he did manage to find Knight, and he'll get the ball back again, returning it to Knight in the corner of the area. Delivers across deep towards that far post. It flicked through most and somehow smuggled clear by Birmingham.
I think it was Sully Kai at the back pin there. The ball wouldn't come down for him though.
Throw to United, quickly taken, back down the line towards that misty left hand side. Cross whipped in deep, nodded away by Clara once more. Hughes will try and pick it out by Knight, who's brought it down, looks him to turn, goes to the ground, no free kick. And then Hoddle flattens his man, that will be a free kick and a yellow card.
I don't think there's any doubt about that one, is there?
Absolutely not, no.
It was Ben Knight that was brought down just before that. I think United were calling for the free kick for that one, but not given, and he's not getting up quickly from this Ben Knight.
88th minute, first yellow card issued by Matt Corlett.
It wasn't the best of timing, was it, from George Hoddle? Take nothing away from him though. I think he's had a super game this afternoon.
Not for the first time.
Absolutely, plenty of decent performances from him, and I think we'll see plenty more between now and the end of the season as well. Talking about that, Jono, United back in league action up at Fleetwood next Saturday.
Yes, that'll be nice. That'll be another test. Fleetwood going well at home.
What's their last one at home though?
Yep. Long clearance towards the edge of the United area. Hoddle volleys it clear. Appere in a wrestling match with drag, and United get a free kick. They look to take quickly and do, laying off towards Knight on the right hand side, surrounded by three, but that's not enough. And he'll hold them off and he'll get another free kick. Birmingham hanging on a little desperately just for a moment. They have got a 2-goal cushion, but they're making it look like an uncomfortable cushion.
Yeah, 88th minute, and he's still got bags of energy, hasn't he, Ben Knight? And he'll be smarting though the chances that he's had in this game to find the back of the net.
Hughes with a free kick, which McLaughlin will take. 10 yards over the halfway line. Right of centre, plenty forward for United. Birmingham holding the line a couple of yards outside the box. It goes deep into the mist on that far side. A little nod down towards the edge. What a goal that was! What a strike from Kai. It fell so invitingly for him. He smote it home from 20 yards. United back in it. Kai at the double. It's Hughes 2. Cambridgeshire at Birmingham 3.
Well, what a super strike that was. A real snapshot. Got his right foot over the top of the ball, and he's absolutely leathered that. The keeper was absolutely flat-footed. I'll tell you what, this makes things interesting for the last few moments. But we have 10 minutes of added time, Jono.
That was some hit, wasn't it?
That was a brilliant hit. Now outright top scorer for the Hughes this season with 6. That's not a bad impact off the bench, is it?
Yeah. As United getting the ball away. Maybe that cushion's just got a little less, even less comfortable for Birmingham. As Iwata rides a challenge from Purrington. Loads in towards the edge of the area, where it's met by Jobe, who can't find the ball between his feet just for a minute there. Hughes try and come away with it, runs to Purrington, long ball forward, looking for Appere, whose nod down led to the goal. Battling away on that far side, Birmingham just about hold United off. Final seconds of normal time.
Here comes that board, Jono.
Come forward, 5 minutes to be added, a minimum thereof. United with Hoddle. Hoddle holds off a challenge. Back to Jobe on the halfway line. Knight runs between a couple and then loses the ball. He just ran out of steam, I think, and will pick it up and go wide to Williamson on the right hand side. He'll lay it back in towards Dutch, whose tired shot scuffs across, will be picked up on this near side by Kumas. He's got support behind him. Peck gets it back to him and gets a return pass. Birmingham just looking to try and keep possession and see this one out. Goes back wide to Kumas. Doyle just out midway inside the Hughes half, rolls it back infield to Pike, who looked for a bit of support, rolls it on to Yamamoto, who's got to out wide towards this near side. Doyle keeping possession, clipping it against Bennett for a throw.
It's all about game management for Birmingham now, isn't it? United. They're just struggling to put their foot on the ball at the moment, but
Birmingham will make a change.
Substitution for Birmingham City, replacing number 30, Lewis Kumas.
Kumas comes off.
Number 23, Alphonse.
Samsted comes on.
well, Birmingham fans are not happy about that substitution, are they?
Oh, they're not, are they? Samsted's a right back mainly. Wow. Birmingham with the throw anyway on this right hand side. They've had to reshuffle as a result of that change. Then Bennett gets involved and puts it out for another throw to Birmingham close to the corner flag. We're into the second of the 5 to be added. It's Hughes 2, Birmingham 3. United made a game of it in the end.
Absolutely, yeah. They took their time getting there, but they're a side they never ever give up.
Let's throw down the line and Bennett just about works it away. Hoddle and Jobe complete the clearance towards Lavery, chest down and halfway to Kai and look to put him away towards that left hand side. United streaking forward. It's Purrington wide towards it left hand side where it's reeled back in. Bit of help towards the right hand side. Hoddle to Bennett. Bennett's deep cross far post. He'll nod down and it drifts wide.
It was Purrington, I think.
Purrington had arrived at the far post, you're right. Got his head to the ball but couldn't get it on target.
Super cross, wasn't it, from the right hand side? Good deep one from Liam Bennett.
93rd minute, Birmingham 2, Cambridge United Birmingham 3, Cambridge United 2 here at the Abbey Stadium. United are giving it a right go. It's taken a while to get there.
As is the goalkeeper with his goal kick as well.
Yeah. Clearance in increasingly dense fog. Away it goes off the United head for a throw to Birmingham midway inside the Hughes half.
And look at that one final big chance, aren't they, Jono?
Birmingham hoping they can keep the ball in the thrower's hands is Samsted, I think. United again work it forward. And they've won a throw actually deep in their own half, which they'll look to launch forward. Working down that left hand side, it'll come back. Rossi gets it back. Apparay comes short to nod it back once more. Picked up by Joe, wide to Bennett inside his own half, right hand side, long ball forward, looking for Apparay. Little nod down, but it's found its way back to Knight. Knight just on the corner of the box, going wide towards the right hand side. Chance for the cross to come in, which comes off a defender, and away it goes for a throw, I think, to United. Which Jobe will wander across to launch into the box.
Yeah, he's done well to find a little bit of space there to try and get the cross in as George Hoddle. This could be do or die for United, this long throw.
Almost looks as if Neil Harris is joining in the chance of yellows as United going forward with a long throw. In it comes now, looking for the flick. Half cleared, back into the area once more. Kaika on the half turn, couldn't get the shot away. Birmingham will clear over halfway where Bennett will go back to his keeper. In swirling fog, Eastwood gets it forward. This is now a proper cup tie as he was looking out wide for, I don't know who's over there, it's too misty.
Ben Purrington.
Thought it might be. Out it goes for a throw to Birmingham.
And that they couldn't be taking any more time with this at the moment, Birmingham. I mean, I don't kind of blame them to an extent because they've been under the pump a little bit. The referee on a number of occasions has had to tell them to get on with it.
There's Birmingham in possession. And they hook it forward and Eastwood wants the ball to run into the area. It won't, so he calmly plays it off to Bennett. into the 6th of the 5. Bennett, long ball forward, looking for the flick on. It runs loose towards that left-hand side. Chance for the cross from Purrington into the area it goes. Rattles around in there. Birmingham will smuggle it clear. They'll send it anywhere will do for Birmingham at the moment. And there goes the full-time whistle. And United's FA Cup run ends. But it ends... a little bit of frustration, but a lot of pride actually from the way they finished strongly. 3 down, seemingly down and out. Solly Kaikai came off the bench and scored 2 thumping goals to get United to within a goal of Birmingham, who went ahead on 31, deflected shot from Kai Wagner, and then on the stroke of half-time, Furuhashi took advantage of a Zeno Ibsen-Rossi mistake to race away from halfway to slot home. Loose clearance from Eastwood on 78, now Marvin Duksh to make it 3-0, and that surely was game over. United didn't seem to realise that though, as they pushed in one of those do-or-die FA Cup all-or-nothing chases you sometimes see, and you certainly saw it here today. They gave it a go. Kaikai with a really good strike after a nod down on 81, and then a deep free kick into the area. Apparay laid it on towards Kaikai, who had to thump it in from 20 yards with all the power he could muster, which was plenty. Wasn't to be in the end for the United, but they are out of the cup. They're out of the cup with, I think, held high in the end. It's ended Cambridge United 2, Birmingham 3.
Jono, it took a while for the U's to really get going, but they gave Birmingham a proper scare in the end.
Yeah, they did. 3-0 down, the game's gone, surely. But that says a lot about where United are now, because some sides 3 down in the FA Cup with 20 minutes to go would collapse completely, and some have today, but not the U's, and it says an awful amount about their spirit that they were able to pull themselves off the canvas and give Birmingham a scare. And we know Birmingham aren't great away from home, but they are 2 divisions better, and they're a squad full of internationals at all sorts of levels, but they were made to sweat a little bit for it. And in the end it did turn into a cup tie. United couldn't do it for long enough periods, but they did do enough to send, I think, most Hughes fans home happy. And if you're going to lose 3-2, go 3-0 down and then score 2 to give yourself hope. Don't do it the other way round, because that really sends people away miserable.
With the defending this evening, we've got, well, very used to Cambridge United being ever so solid at the back and teams really having to earn their goals. I think we can probably imagine right now some of the points that Neil Harris will be making in his post-match interview. The standard of the defending is going to really hurt him. Yeah,
that's the most disappointing. I think the first goal, big deflection, let's not worry about that too much. These things happen. The second and the third were from individual errors, and you can get away with them ish in League 2. You can get away with them not against Championship sides, and that shows the big difference. We've said the difference between divisions is the tempo, but it's also about the ruthlessness in front of goal. And for United to improve as a squad, yeah, they need more ruthlessness in front of goal, but the chances they presented that they gave away today, 50-60% of the time in League 2 they'd get away with it and come out of this game with something. In fact, probably could come out from this game with at least a point and probably 3, but not against Championship opposition. You do not get away with that.
81333 if you'd like to send us a text message and share your thoughts. At BBC Cam Sports. If you'd like to tweet us, you can also get in touch via WhatsApp 08000 321 333. That's 08000 321 333. Starting your WhatsApps CAM, as is the case with the text messages. Let's take a look at some of the messages already heading into us. Cambridge United beaten by 3-2. Lots to talk about, which, to be honest, at half-time it didn't look as though the game would be heading that way. Birmingham very much in control. Ben says, poor team selection today. With no Kel Watts, we needed a bit of experience in the defence, particularly when playing the back 4. Michael Morrison had to play tonight. Zeno Rossi is this squad's equivalent of Jablokadina from previous squads. Strong in the air, looks classy, but the next mistake is never too far away, or three of them, if today is anything to go by. All three punished. You would expect that from a decent, expensively assembled championship side. We were pretty even, aside from those defensive errors. You could maybe say it was a 2-0 home win if you take them out, but football doesn't work like that. Disappointing. Ben with his thoughts there. This one coming in from Andy. What a brilliant couple of goals from Suli Kaikai, showing his quality late in the game. This one from Luke. We had them worried late on. They were time wasting, they were delaying. It's just a shame we scored the goals so late. Cambridge United out of this season's FA Cup, beaten by 3-2, 2-0 down at the half-time break. 3-0 down, and that was game over, or so we thought. Suli Kaikai coming off the bench, scoring a couple of late goals, the second of which absolutely brilliant technique. 8133 if you'd like to text us, starting your messages CAM. WhatsApp 08000 321 333, also starting your messages CAM. Make us a contact via the app, and on Twitter we're at BBC Cam Sport. We will hear from Neil Harris before we go off air. We'll bring you further reaction from Peterborough United as well. Posh with a 3-1 win in League One earlier today over Bolton. Jono, let's go back to the start of the game and the first half. As we said at half-time, really, surprisingly flat from a U's perspective. In some respects, they didn't do too much wrong in the first half, but we were expecting, I think, a bit more punch, given we know Neil Harris has told us often enough how enthused he is about the FA Cup. It wasn't really reflected in the first half performance. I
thought first 10 minutes or so it was almost. United came out of the traps really quickly with that sort of enthusiasm and impression you would hope for, but not with the cutting edge, and we've seen that more than once this season. But it was as if Birmingham was sitting back and saying, OK, let's see what you got, and let United punch themselves out. And as soon as they'd done that, it looked increasingly comfortable for Birmingham. They were quite happy for United to blow themselves out with that 10-15 minute spell. But once that was done, and it turned into exactly what Birmingham wanted at the end for the rest of the first half: a quiet, reasonable stroll for them, with a couple of goals thrown in, one well taken from Wagner, which took a deflection, and another one handed really to them on a plate by mistake by Rossi. Well taken goals nonetheless, but avoidable. But that was really, as far as they were concerned, it couldn't have gone much better. 2-0 up at half time, United had blown themselves out. Let's see if we can do the same in the second half. So first half, good start for Muse, but then Birmingham just allowed the game to stifle really and get rather stagnant, which was just what they wanted. And incidentally, this fog's got horrible, isn't it?
It's got really thick. I think it was off air where we were discussing fog and previous used games where there's been a lot of fog, and I suggested famously the Harrogate game here at the Abbey during the COVID season was extremely foggy, and I suggested, well, maybe it's because it was behind closed doors and there wasn't so much heat emanating from the stadium. And I think Doug looked at me as though I was a bit mad, but
he does that to me a lot of the time.
Since the end of the game and since the stadium's emptied out, it has actually the fog has really descended. We're not in a position where, had it been in extra time with this level of fog, the game would have been abandoned, but it is certainly quite foggy and quite difficult to see what's taking place over the far side towards the Habin. Did you think, Jono, with the first half, we discussed in the build-up, Chris Davies, the Birmingham manager, making this point that actually we know quite a lot about going away to clubs where they'll be disciplined, they'll be determined, they'll look to frustrate us. We had it a lot in League One last season, so we'll be quite calm when it comes to dealing with it. That seemed to be in evidence, both with the Youths didn't find many opportunities on the break, which is often what you'd expect in this sort of game, and also with the attacking play. they played quite a lot of what you might describe as being quite straight balls into the box, almost looking for the U's to make mistakes and to pick up the ball, which is how they ultimately scored the first goal.
It's such a difference, isn't it, between the Championship and League Two, that you get punished for so many more mistakes by a Championship side. That's the quality, and that's what makes the difference. You can get away with more in League Two, I think. But the fact that Birmingham were down a level last year and were too good by a distance for the division they were in meant that pretty much everyone they played, with the exception of Wrexham and maybe one or two others, treated the visit of Birmingham to their place as a cup tie. So they had 20 plus cup ties last season of exactly this sort, so they were well versed in seeing out the danger, and they did it well enough to win more games than anyone ever had at that level. So they were pretty good at it, and it showed. This was not your big side going to a smaller side and being surprised by the intensity. This was, we've seen this before, we know what to do, we can deal with it, and they dealt with it extremely well. First thing they did, they let United blow themselves out as an attacking force. Second thing they did as a result of that was take the crowd out of the equation and turn it into a quiet, almost behind closed doors type game, and that could not have been better for them. And once they were in that situation, they get the goal, they get the second, which was a real gift. It could not have been gone better to plan for them. There were so many boxes ticked. It was only when United changed things up late in the game with some change of shape, some substitutions, and really with a kitchen sink, nothing to lose approach, that they looked uncomfortable, and they suddenly remembered, hey, actually we do struggle away from home. But until then, it was very much going entirely to plan for Birmingham. And United, for all their chance and all the talk of, well, Birmingham aren't very good away from home, they might be vulnerable, actually this was probably one of the worst ties to draw, or opponents to draw from a Championship point of view, because they are and were so well versed in this sort of match.
Yeah, it certainly looked that way. And Birmingham deserve a lot of credit for the way that they approached the game, coming away then, if you're only just joining us, with a 3-2 win. On paper, that probably makes the game look more dramatic than it actually was, in that the U's getting their 2 goals late on, but pushing Birmingham hard over the final part of the match. I'm pleased to say we've been joined in the commentary position. You'll have probably heard during second half commentary, Salima Kambi, former U's Academy player, having been quite busy this afternoon playing a match for Bishop Stortford at Sudbury, arriving a bit late and had all sorts of issues getting to his seat. In fact, getting into the stadium in the first place. Then when you got to the press box, well, you're a centre forward and it's quite tight in the press box midway through that second half. You were never going to have a chance of finding a seat, but fortunately you managed to perch yourself just outside there. There was space for you.
Do you know what, Peter, I'll tell you, I'm only good at finding space in the 18-yard box, not the press box. And I saw that Jono and Doug were quite comfortable, so I thought, let me not interrupt.
Comfortable might be overstated.
I think it was a good job you decided to sit there, because Doug was in the process of rearranging about 15 different pens to try and make room, but that was only scratching the surface. So it was a good job that you found a seat elsewhere. And actually, whisper it quietly, but if we look at the game this evening, you struggling a bit in the first half when you weren't here, you turn up. It could well, the fact that you were a bit late may well have been the decisive factor, in that you turning up seems to have changed things, but not quite enough.
And I think there's a second part to that theory. If I was able to get in 10 minutes earlier and wasn't waiting at the gate, we might have had a third goal potentially. So
I suggested to Salim, he texted me saying, I'm having trouble getting in, they're being a bit awkward on the gate. I suggested that you just crack out, do you know who I am? But I don't know if you're the sort of guy to really do that.
No, not really my thing. And I think when I did try to kind of hint at the stewards that I was here a couple of years ago, they said, oh, no, that's not relevant to our protocol. So
I'm always worried if I say, do you know who I am, in case people say yes.
Yeah, I've heard your commentary, mate.
Yeah, exactly.
I hope they used was that genuine, the protocol line? That sounds very match day steward talk to me.
Yeah, it was a high risk event, is what they said to me. So I thought, okay, you know what? Perhaps it is a high risk event, so I'll wait patiently and not cause too much trouble.
Again, they probably heard Jono's commentary. That was probably what they were referring to. Second half then, Salim, it was a case of, well, right at the start of the second half, Birmingham with a really good opportunity, which would have completely, I think, killed the game at that stage, which they didn't take. And then Cambridge United, I think, probably reacting to Neil's comments from half-time, addressing a few things, playing with a bit more edge and intensity, going 3-0 down relatively late in the half, and then breathing some life into it. Sudi Kaikai coming off the bench. And talk us through particularly for his second goal, talk us through the technique and the skill required there.
Yeah, the second goal was a great finish. I actually had in my notes that I think for the first 10 minutes or so of the second half, it was quite disappointing because the end product didn't seem to be there. And I didn't mean the end product in terms of like shots and crosses. I meant more so to do with the final pass.
This is 5 Sports Extra.